Hey everybody, this is Jason Potash. If you can hear my voice and see my screen, please let me know in the chat box there, because obviously this is live. Today actually is, what is it today? My gosh, check my timer. Thursday, June 28th at 1:59 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you can hear me coming in live and you can see my screen, let me know. We're hoping that the good folks of the internet are on our side and allowing us to stream this to you over the internet. All right, I see Gideon says, yes, hello, Jason. I see Bill, I see Thomas coming in hot now. I see Claire, I see William, I see Joseph. Awesome. Let me know where you're from as well, because obviously I don't know where you're calling in from or what time it is in the day. And if it's late at night or early morning, I appreciate you spending some time with me here today. I see Clay, I see Carolyn, I see Wayne, I see Rob coming in like rapid fire now. Eliav, I know that name. Hello, Eliav. Good to see you. Donald, Rich, Daniel, Raheem, Rob from St. Louis. Oh, I'm not even mentioning where you're from here. Helen, Shalom from Israel. Hey, we got Tom from Seattle. We've got Joe from Portland. We've got Steve from the UK. We've got Donald from Naples. We've got Wayne all the way up in Sarnia. Hey, good to see you, Wayne. Rod from Virginia. We've got Gideon from Madison. We've got Vasi from Portsmouth. Wow, a lot of folks here coming in. Let's give people another minute or so. My bad. I've got a reminder email that's supposed to be sent out. However, I could not send that out until 10 minutes after the hour. So we may have a few people who joined the party late. That's fine, though. I'm going to move through here fairly quickly. And there's a lot of stuff here to cover today. More folks coming in. I see Anima. I see Bob. I see Georgia. Great stuff, folks. And thank you, wherever you're calling in from all across the world. I appreciate you spending some time with me here today, and it's going to be well worth your time. Got some really cool things to show you. More specifically, we're going to go through a blueprint today. So you'll definitely be taking some notes and learn a few things and ways to drive more business and more traffic to your site. If it's a new business, an existing business, or if you're still trying to figure things out, that's cool too. I'll show you exactly how to do that as well. More folks coming in. We got Leo, we got Bill, we got Mickey. Awesome. Good stuff. And yeah, feel free to kind of keep in the chat roll. Just so you know, I'm going to circle back and definitely answer your questions towards the end of the web class. This is live, so yes, I can do that. And if during the web class, it's hard to kind of look back and forth. I think only women can multitask. Am I right, gentlemen? Only women can read text on a screen and speak out of their mouths at the same time. Guys are not wired to do that. That's what I found anyway. My wife can be on Instagram and also Facebook and watching TV at the same time, know exactly what is happening. Us guys don't have that ability. It's pretty much one task at a time, right? So let's get to rolling on here. Still lots of folks coming into the chat room. That's awesome. Great to see you here. So we're going to talk about how to tap into 1.1 billion with a B users a month using this simple system that gets you super cheap, often free, sky-high converting traffic. And the cool thing is, works for hundreds of different niche markets online, and it's not the usual stuff like Facebook or Google or Twitter or Pinterest, right? I mean, listen, I'm not claiming I've invented fire here. What we're going to talk about today has been around for a little while, but what I want you to think about is how we can do things a bit differently, how we can really tap into this and use a different approach than what's being used out there today. And that's how we're going to get those traffic wins, right? So I'm going to show you that today and more. So real quick, how did this web class come about? Well, I didn't wake up one day and say, hey, let's just put a class together about different ways to get free or low-cost traffic. It really started end of December last year. Now, you may have been on this webinar. This was a 3-hour marathon webinar I did at the end of last year, just talking about some of the trends and some of the big things happening in 2018, right? Some of the big traffic trends and so forth. And one of those, the part of that conversation was what I'm going to talk to you about today. I got a massive feedback from that. People were just emailing me, asking for more information, wanting to dive deeper, because I really only skimmed over a lot of things very, very quickly. And they also want to know if there's ways to automate the process. Anyway, all these questions came in. So we're going to talk specifically about that one segment today and do a deep dive into how to really crack it open so you can get a lot of free traffic from it, okay? But again, that all stemmed back to that webinar going back a few months that we did, that 3-hour marathon there. So here's a little teaser on what we're going to talk about today. This has been called the fastest growing online customer acquisition method. I don't know about you. I'm very interested in getting more customers into my businesses, my multiple businesses. And as you see here, it's pretty much the top of the food chain, even above the king or queen of everything, which is email, right? Everyone talks about the money in the list and everything else. This has actually, as you see here, really been ranked higher than that as the fastest growing customer online getting method, if you will. Also, it's been called the most cost-effective online customer acquisition method. These stats are recent. And again, tied with email, no secret. Everyone kind of praises email, right? That's the king of customer getting. Well, this is tied right up there. So if you're not excited by now about what this is all about, then I don't know. I mean, I got to splash some cold water on your face or something. I don't know. I mean, when I found out about the stats and really how this method was growing hugely in popularity, and people were, whoever uses it is just using it more and more and more again, because it's such a fast growing method and also one of the most cost effective methods to find customers. I mean, obviously we know there's a lot of methods out there that cost you a lot of money to find customers, and we'll talk about that later on. But for me, if I can find something that's cost effective or free, and it's growing by leaps and bounds, and I can get in early, that gets me excited and passionate about different ways to grow my business. And hopefully you feel the same way after our time here today. Yes, Derry, this is live. Few folks asking, is this live? Yes, this is live. And the proof is at the end when we do some live Q&A. And hopefully I'll get a bunch of you folks asking questions. So you're here because you want more traffic, right? That's the obvious part of the equation. And inexpensive or free because it must convert into sales. Very important. Nobody wants to spend the time or money generating traffic and it does nothing. It's got to convert into sales or some sort of an action, an opt-in, a download, scheduling an appointment, whatever it is you want to do for your business. And you know that organic traffic takes a long time, right? Not just me telling you this. We know that on Google now, you can't get ranked in a day. It takes a while to have Google allow your website the privilege of being on page 5, and then you got to work to get your stuff to scramble up to the top. And you already know that AdWords and Facebook prices are crazy sky high, right? That's nothing new. And of course, the bad news is Facebook killed free traffic earlier this year. Obviously, Zuckerberg's made a lot of moves, but he decided to kind of pull the rug out on anybody trying to get a free ride on Facebook. So you need to pay to play on Facebook as today, right? So here's why what we're talking about today is going to be different. It's not about short-lived hacks or tricks or underground methods or loopholes that work for 2 weeks and then blow up. And you don't have to wait weeks or months to see results. Results can happen in days, and I'll show you that in the next hour here. And you won't be paying ridiculous prices like $2 or $5 a click. Often the traffic I'm going to show you here is free if you structure it correctly, and we'll talk about that. And no funnels, no product. If you're not some super duper marketing ninja, if you're just starting out, really not a problem, because as you'll see here, this is pretty much a very simple traffic method, very easy to get started, and it's not complicated. You don't have to be some ninja in paid traffic getting. Very simple. And anybody can do this. I don't know what your business is, if you're doing affiliate stuff or you're doing e-com, Shopify, Amazon, digital products. Maybe you're an agency. Maybe you're doing consulting. I don't know. I mean, there's all kinds of different businesses. And the bottom line is people are people. And if you can tap into 1.1 billion people, I'm pretty sure you're going to find at least a small segment of that, which could be tens of thousands of people that are ideal prospects for your business. I'm going to show you how to do that in this web class today. And also I'm talking about high converting traffic. We're not talking about buying useless $10,000 clicks from Fiverr, because we know that that's just wasting your $5. You might as well go buy a hamburger at McDonald's and get more satisfaction than useless clicks, right? And we're also going to do a little bit of spying today. Perhaps one of my favorite things to do online is to spy, not for evil, but to spy on what other people are doing, reverse engineer what they're doing, and then just do things better, or let them do all the research for you, and then you go and take that research to the bank, right? It's just a smart way to do business rather than reinventing the wheel and having to be a pioneer. Look what's working. And again, I'm going to show you some very cool spy techniques in this web class on exactly how to do that. All right. So before we get rolling here, usually you see an earnings disclaimer. I'm going to give you an earnings and effort disclaimer. I'm just, upping the bar one more notch here. This is not some get traffic quick gimmick, okay? Those of you that know me by now know that I'm not, one of these people that is promising you the red magic button, nor am I promising you, instant riches or $10,000 a day. I mean, that's not the playbook that I play from. I'm more about realistic results that you can get today rather than, talking about all these pipe dream stats and that kind of thing, right? And the system does require you to do something. Again, full effort disclosure, you need to actually do something and put the wheels in motion. You can't just sit back and, click a mouse button. And we both know that that doesn't work anyway, right? I mean, that is a bit of a fallacy and a pipe dream. And you can use some automation. We'll talk about that later on. That makes it easier. But of course, what we're going to walk through today is showing you just the 1, 2, 3s in the blueprint on how to use this method on your own. And the thing is, this is not like Facebook ads. There's no login. There's no wonderful dashboard or panel where you put in your Visa card, you click a few buttons, and then blammo, your ads are live within like 10 minutes or an hour, however long it takes to approve them. And that's actually a good thing. And the reason I put this light bulb here, because there's an opportunity today, because most folks are not using this traffic method because there is a bit of work involved. It's not this convenience of a push button ad panel like you have on Facebook. And what I'm going to show you is if you're willing to put a little bit of time in, you can really blow past your competition, get a huge amount of quality traffic just because most folks are lazy and don't want to put in a little bit of work. Does that make sense? All right. So, I mean, obviously this will change down the road, I'm pretty sure. But for now, though, put a little bit of sweat equity in, and the dividends and the payoff will be huge for you. Okay. And when you stick around to the end, like any good party, we're going to have some party favors and handouts. I'm going to give you a tracking spreadsheet. Of course, I'll explain exactly how to use it or anything. It's going to help you to be organized and implement what you're going to learn in the next hour or so. Okay, just a little bit of a takeaway for you to kind of tuck under your hat and use it after the web class. All right. So yes, obviously you're on my list. You've gotten videos from me. You've hopefully been on a web class before, and you know that I always deliver good content. This isn't just some rant for an hour. But who am I, in case you don't know? Real quick, I am not this guy. I'm not the creator of tattoo coloring books for adults. There's all kinds of crazy coloring books out there from Jason Potash. That's not me. I'm also not this guy at the Tribeca Film Festival. This is a Hollywood producer who has come up through the ranks over the past few years. You may find him on Google as well. That is not me. I'm the guy here on the left side. Been a free traffic guy since 2001. I've been involved in the software business since the mid-90s. I prefer to not pay Facebook or Google for traffic. Like to get the free ride as best I can, and we're going to talk a bit about that today. And I'll be showing you my latest traffic discovery during this web class. And again, I'm excited about it because, yes, I'm a free traffic guy. This method I'm going to show you gets you free traffic. Also, if you pay for it, it's really inexpensive. I mean, really inexpensive. Dirt cheap is an understatement, okay? And I'll show you exactly how we do that in the next few minutes. So before we dive into the content, let's just kind of take a step back and look at the situation today, right? So obviously, Google's annual revenue, is insane. As you see here from like 2004 to 2017, crazy, right? $109 billion, just stupid numbers. And Facebook obviously is at the same trajectory. Literally doubling revenue, year after year, and just making money hand over fist. And the reason being is because of you. Well, not you specifically, us. All the folks that continue to pump money into Google and Facebook. And of course, now with Facebook, you really don't have a choice because we know that Facebook killed the free traffic goose. So you have to pay to play with Facebook, right? And there's no secret why there's less traffic opportunities, because companies are making a killing on advertising. So why would they give you a free ride? Well, the good news is there are some free rides still available. We're going to talk about that today. So let me just talk a bit about a nice boring topic, economics 101. And I want to just talk about this for 30 seconds because it kind of help you understand where we're going here. So with economics, if the ad demand is greater than ad supply or inventory, you get higher prices. That's exactly what's happening today, right? There's a huge amount of ad demand and not a lot of ad supply or inventory. So we're paying higher prices every single month, right? If the ad demand is less than the available ad supply or inventory, that's when prices are lower. Well, we haven't seen that situation since like 2004. Ad prices have been going up and up and up. Which is the best option? Obviously, paying lower prices whenever you can. So I'm going to show you exactly how you can take advantage of this today before it flips and there's actually way too many advertisers and very little supply. And of course, this is I think it's the equilibrium, supply-demand equilibrium. I'm getting flashbacks of college economics class. Let's just skip over this right now. Bad memories. So there are three ways to get traffic, right? One, you can buy it. Two, you can borrow it. And three, you can create it. And today, we're going to be talking about a bit of a hybrid approach, okay? We're going to buy and borrow, right? We're definitely not going to create it, okay? So let me explain how we do this. So creating your own traffic, it takes time to build pages, right? As I mentioned before, if you want to get into Google, you need to have great content, great optimization. You can't just release garbage onto Google and expect to get ranked in like a week. It just is not happening anymore. And it can be volatile. We've already known that Facebook, of course, did a 180, surprised everybody and said, sorry, we're going to be putting the kibosh on free traffic. Google, there's updates every single month. always webmasters having their sites blow up and fall down the mountain. So, and that's part of the risk you take when you do business on Facebook and Google, if you're looking to get a free ride, right? Boring traffic, low cost, often free. Obviously low risk because you're not doing anything, just borrowing the traffic to somebody else. Examples are forums. You can post on forums, podcasts, which means that you get interviewed on a podcast, and as a result, you get exposure in front of all the people who are subscribed to the podcast. Webinars, obviously, and be invited to a webinar. The webinar host promotes that webinar. You get in front of potentially hundreds of people, low cost, free, no risk, right? Or ad swaps. You know, you'll send your ad out, you send my ad out, or I'll put your banner on my site, all that kind of stuff. So again, very low cost, very low risk, and often free, right? In terms of what's happening out there today, I mean, I'm not going to, this is nothing new, right? I mean, there's just insanity in terms of prices increasing on Facebook. I mean, Google ads are up, 30 times. We know that organic reach on Facebook is gone. There's a lot of stuff happening, a lot of bad news, if you will, happening in the areas of online marketing as it applies to advertising, right? But I want you to kind of push that all aside today. Think of the land of fairy tales and unicorns and happy thoughts, because we're not going to go down the hole talking about, woe is me, the sky's falling, and it's really hard to get paid traffic right now. And the bottom line is that a person who really wants something will find a way, and a person who doesn't will find an excuse. And we're here today to find a way, right? We're not here to make excuses and say, oh, I'm going to give up. Why am I even bothering? Facebook is so expensive and you can't get any free traffic. No one's buying. That's total BS. I mean, there is a way, and we're going to spend some time today and show you how to find that way, okay? No excuses, all right? Zero. So, and my goal by the end of this web class is to have you empowered with a step-by-step system that you can really hit the pavement running and use it, all right? And not be paying the crazy prices to Google and Facebook and whoever else out there is asking for your money. Before I jump into the content, a great saying that I want to frame this web class with. I was a fan of this saying even before I realized that Steve Jobs loves this saying. And of course, we lost Steve many years ago. Brilliant man. But here's what he says. There's an old saying by Wayne Gretzky that I love. Where the puck is going to be, not where it has been. And we've always tried to do that at Apple. So my question is always, where is the online traffic puck going? What direction is it headed in? Obviously, if we were talking about getting free Facebook traffic today, I mean, the puck is already, it's gone. It's already in the net. It's already been passed 9 times, right? We want to look ahead, a bit of a crystal ball, and see where are things going, and can we be ahead of the curve, not playing catch up, right? I don't want to be the guy who's scrambling when all my competitors are already on Facebook and I'm trying to, run as fast as I can to catch up. I want to be the one that's there first, or one of the few, and let everyone else play catch up to me. Does that make sense? So it's a very, very powerful saying, especially when it applies to anything we do with online marketing. All right. So when I look at where the puck is going, and I look at, where things are really headed and where the growth is, I mean, you see the same stats that I do. I see everywhere Instagram. Fastest growing social media platform 2018. Instagram influences almost 75% of user purchases. It's growing faster than ever. It's every marketer's favorite social media platform in 2018. And on and on and on and on. I see these stats again and again. And more importantly, when you look at the graph here on the left in terms of the growth rate, it's just getting ramped up. I mean, Instagram is just starting to hit that trajectory. I mean, just like Facebook did perhaps 5 years ago or so. It's just a baby. You can see on the right here in terms of monthly users, this is of course a year old now, but the user base is small compared to YouTube and Facebook, but Instagram is a baby. I mean, it is just getting started here. So for me, when I see kind of where things are headed, where the growth is, that's why I get excited about Instagram and the possibilities for tapping into traffic on Instagram. Now hold on, you might be thinking, wait a second, Instagram for kids? My kids are on Instagram, obviously. A lot of teenagers are, but nope. Instagram is not only for kids. That's unfortunately a wrong misconception that goes back a few years ago now. And if you look at, for example, where the kids are spending the most of their time, it's Snapchat. If you have teenagers or young kids, you know that. Snapchat is what these kids use. I mean, as you see here, 50% of Snapchat's user base, 16 to 24. I would almost say it's probably like 16 to 19 or even like 13 to 19. It's young. Kick. If you have no idea what Kick is, congratulations. That's because you don't use it. The kids are using it, right? What's interesting, though, on the right side here, though, looking at Facebook, which is the first graph there, we see 15% of Facebook's user base is 18 to 24-year-olds. And on the right side is Instagram. So 20% of Instagram's user base is 18 to 24. And if you look at the two blue graphs on the right, they look pretty similar, right? Facebook versus Instagram. And the thing is, like any platform, the kids are the early adopters. The kids were the first to get on Facebook. And now, my kids tell me only old people, quote unquote, I'm over 40. I'm not old, but only old people, go on Facebook, because the young kids have moved on to something else, and the older generation catches up. The exact same thing is happening on Instagram. So don't think that Instagram is a bunch of young kids, posting selfies. That is not the case. And we'll dive more into this throughout the next hour or so. Okay. So the question is, how can you tap into Instagram's 1.1 billion users? It might be a billion. I don't know. I mean, the numbers are kind of pretty much not out for 2018, but it's huge though. Okay. So again, you can build it, right? You can go and build an Instagram page and hustle, get followers, that kind of stuff. Or you can buy Instagram ads. Yes, Instagram has an ad platform. And if you're happy paying retail prices for ads, then by all means, it's a great option. Or there's a third option here, which is borrowing that traffic through endorsements and word of mouth marketing. And wouldn't you agree that if you're hearing about a product or service through an endorsement, or if you're hearing about it through word of mouth, I mean, that's the most powerful form of marketing and the most high converting form of marketing there is, right? I mean, you know this. I mean, if you ask somebody, hey, I want to get my lawn cut, of a good company locally that does a great job. Oh yeah, you got to call Chuck. Amazing. He's like, he's in his 60s, he's retired, does a great job. Done, right? No need to see an ad. It's done. Same thing happens with Instagram when you borrow that traffic, which I'll show you how to do in the next few minutes here, right? And the solution is influencers. And you may be thinking, wait a second, hold on. I've heard about this before. This is nothing new. Yeah, it's nothing new. The difference is, though, is everyone's following the exact same playbook on trying to tap into influencers. I'm going to show you a different method using my reverse spy hack, okay? Reverse spy hack. Keep that in the back of your mind. And we're going to kind of zig where everyone else is zagging and show you a very specific way to tap into influencers below the surface level that nobody is targeting. And literally, it's like being the only buddy at Costco on a Friday morning. I mean, how great is that when there's nobody grabbing for the chicken and the peanuts and everything else? You're the only person because you're following a very specific system I'm going to show you, okay? So again, I want to kind of clear out these misconceptions about Instagram, about influencers, and let's dive deep into this and talk about why the combination of these two is so darn powerful, all right? So for those of you that don't know the whole process, I mean, you literally forget about ads and paying for ads. You go direct to the source, okay? So that could be male or female. You go around Facebook's ad platform, of course, which includes Instagram. So you're not paying Facebook. You're not paying retail prices for ads. You're going directly to influencers who are on Instagram. And as a result, you're working out deals with them where they promote your product, your content, or your site, whatever it is you want to promote, to tens of thousands of highly engaged followers who like, know, and trust them. And as a result of that, the conversion rate is sky high, much higher than a cold advertisement slapped in your face. And that's when things happen. You get instant traffic, sales, and leads for your business by doing what? Piggybacking off influencers who have already done all the hard work. They've spent the time and the months and all the energy to crank out great posts. They've done all the hard work for you. And all you're doing is working out a deal with them, piggybacking off of their followers, their authority, and getting that traffic, right? That's how the process works. It may seem simple, but we're going to dive into it and talk about specifically what you have to do to get this stuff working for you, okay? So on Instagram, the cool thing is, whether you realize it or not, 75% of users take action. Here's a direct quote that I copied. Instagram is also highly influential with 60%, that's 60, folks, of users saying they learn about new products and services on the platform, and 75% taking action, defined as visiting a website, searching, shopping for, or purchasing, or telling a friend about a product or service after being inspired by an Instagram post. So pretty cool that we have that high degree of an engaged audience. And there's no way you're going to get anywhere near this kind of engagement on Facebook, or Google, or YouTube. It's just not possible. And I have the stats to prove it. So you've got the most highly engaged audience out there on the internet living on Instagram. Do you think you want to be a part of that and tap into them? Of course. The question is, how do you do that? So let's dive into that. Oh, also, 82% of consumers are highly likely to follow a recommendation made by an influencer. Again, why? Because obviously, if the influencer is doing a good job and they have tens of thousands of followers, naturally people following them are going to trust them and actually follow whatever they recommend. It's the same as list building going back years ago. If you're just beating your list with offers every single day and providing no value, what's going to happen? The list is dead. No one responds. If you're doing some offers, putting some content together, putting some other PDFs or webinars, providing value, yeah, you can sell things once in a while, but it has to be that balance. It's the same with influencers. And these people, as I'll show you later on, are not sales driven. It's actually the opposite. They're just posting pictures and content and all kinds of stuff and really not selling at all. So the great thing is the audiences have not been tainted, or they're not sick and tired of advertising. I mean, it's a clean blank slate. Very exciting for us, right? Because it's not this crowded, world of millions of advertisers, clawing tooth and nail to post Facebook ads. All right. So earlier I showed you these stats, a little teaser. Well, obviously we're talking about influencer marketing here. Fastest growing online customer acquisition method and the most cost-effective online customer acquisition method. Okay. So exciting stuff that, this is where people and companies are moving in 2018. And of course, consumers, as I've already showed you, have a high degree of confidence and engagement in using something like Instagram to find out about products and services, right? So let's talk a bit about influencers. Now, these are not your target influencers. Everybody knows about, good old Kim Kardashian. Everyone knows about Kylie Jenner. Even Mark Wahlberg. As you can see, Kim has a 111 million followers. Kylie Jenner, 109 million followers. I mean, Selena Gomez, I didn't mention her. She's like even more than that. And Mark Wahlberg, not as many as the girls, but hey, 9 million followers, right? I mean, I've seen Mark do promotions on his Instagram for all kinds of products. Of course, Kylie does, as you know that. People pay here upwards of, I've heard like $300,000 for a single post, one post of a promoted product. 300 grand. And Kim Kardashian, I'm sure it's up there as well, right? So these are not the people that we are targeting. Clearly, you don't have a budget of 300 grand to go and get Kylie to promote your product, right? I mean, neither do I. And why would you? Because that's just a huge risk. And of course, you're paying for traffic. And as I said before, we want to get a free ride whenever possible, right? So I'm going to show exactly how we do that. So don't feel that you have to spend 300 grand to have somebody to promote your stuff. Clearly, that's not the case, as we'll show you. What we want to focus on is something called micro-influencers. And a micro-influencer is a non-celebrity individual who influences a relatively small but highly engaged follower base, okay? And the tip is around 10,000 followers, okay? Can be a bit less, could be, 5,000, can be 15, 20, 25, 30,000, but the sweet spot on the average is around 10,000. We'll talk a bit about why that is later on, okay? And there's a few reasons why I want to focus on 10,000. They're more effective with marketing campaigns than highly popular accounts, all right? And this Hello Society says engagement rates are 60% higher. Why? Because they have much more of an intimate audience, right? They don't have millions of people that, who don't even really pay attention to what's going on. It's a very, very smaller, more intimate audience. And 10 reasons why micro-influencers are the key to influencers. While their audience size may be modest, their influence certainly is not. And on the left side, why micro-influencer marketing is the game. In 2018, influencer marketing Instagram is now a $1 billion industry, okay? And you already know that a lot of big companies are already tapping into micro-influencers in 2018. And again, they're focusing on the big whales, the massive Instagram influencers. We're not doing that. We're going really in a different approach, focusing on micro-influencers and looking for very specific metrics that I'll talk about. And if the influencer does not meet these metrics, we don't even talk to them, all right? So I want to go through that with you as well to make sure you're finding the best influencers for your promotion. So here's a bit of a snapshot on some articles I found regarding these micro-influencers. So top left side, I get paid Instagram. Here's how I make $1,600 a month on the side. Right side here, this Rachel Ritlop earns $1,000 a month with 17,200 followers, okay? And on the bottom here, another Instagram page, luxury backpacking, makes about $2,000 to $3,000 a month. So in case you can't figure it out, they're not making a lot of money, right? I mean, $1,000 a month is kind of a side hustle. It's really not a full-time job. Now, I bet that all these micro-influencers would love to have this as a full-time job and do nothing but just basically take pictures, post product reviews, and just post general stuff onto their Instagram page. They already do it for free, basically. They want to make it into a full-time job. And the cool thing is, most of these folks have no idea what to charge for ads, and you can literally buy ads from as low as $10 to $20. I'm talking about flat rate traffic. There's no cost per click. There's no cost per impression. You're not paying any commissions. You just give them 10 bucks, 15 bucks, say, hey, just, post this, or sometimes they'll even create the content themselves about your product or download or whatever it is, and away you go. I mean, literally cheap to get your product and your service or your content in front of their audience, potentially tens of thousands of people. Or as I said, we can do it for free, which I'll talk about a bit later on. Okay. The cool thing is that most of these influencers will literally work for food. I mean, they're starving for money, as you saw, making $1,000 a month. They'd love to make even, $1,010 a month, even more than that. So they're very keen to work with you because they're not being flooded with all these people wanting to work with them, because most folks are focused on the big influencers. And that's what most courses teach. They're like, oh, if they have less than 200,000 followers, don't even talk to them. I'm telling you, that's a huge mistake, because I already showed you the sweet spot in terms of hyperactive engagement and response is like that 10,000 follower point, right? Up towards of like 30,000, 40,000. It's not 200,000 or 2 million. It's getting very competitive in those circles, and you're paying a lot of money. And the opportunity here for you is that you can broker deals with these influencers because, one, sure, they want money, but even almost more importantly, they need new things to talk about. They need new content source. And if you just simply send them access to your product, your download, digital product, or send them something, or give them a way to look and review your product, often that's the currency they need to go ahead and create a video about it. And this has happened time and time again, where simply by giving an influencer free access or free copy of your product, they will go and create a great piece of content talking about, the quality of the product or how they enjoyed it. And really that gives you that free ride on Instagram. We'll dive into this a bit more detail. I have a case study as well to show you really how powerful this can be. I think you'll be blown away when you see how you can take something as simple as giving away your product and turn that into a multi-million-dollar business. I kid you not. And that's coming in the next few minutes. Okay, a couple case studies here. So quick napkin math. All right. I mean, just to kind of give you an idea of some numbers here. So, I mean, I'm thinking one influencer, if they had 20,000 followers, made you a handful of sales. I mean, making $500 is not exciting, but it's definitely possible with one influencer who has a highly active audience. Two influencers, sure, it could be 1,000 a month. Three influencers, 1,500 a month. I mean, the numbers aren't crazy yet. I mean, the key is once you kind of get ramped up and start scaling, that's when you can get into that income where, 5 to 10,000 a month is where things become more exciting, right? And I mean, just to kind of give you some blue sky thinking, a real example is a company called Shreds. And Shreds went from 90,000 a year in sales to 5 million a year in sales. Doing what? Using influencer marketing. That was the #1 growth factor to their success. And they claim to have a few dozen influencers. So a few dozen to me means like, about 48, it could be 4 dozen. So 48 influencers turned into a $416,600 a month business. And Shreds create supplements and workout gear and just more or less the health and wellness and fitness industry. I mean, obviously a big industry, but they just crushed it, only focusing on influencers. What did they do? They didn't pay for ads, man. They just gave away copies of their products to top influencers saying, hey, check out our activewear. We'd love for you to take a look at it, try it out. Let us know what you think. And if you think it's a cool product, hey, we'd be tickled pink if you could tell your audience about it. We're a small up-and-coming company, and we don't have a lot of money to spend on advertising. And influencers will do it. They need content sources, right? They need things to talk about. So again, that's a real live example of what can happen. 48 influencers, $5 million a year. Not too bad, right? So the 3 keys to your success with influencers are, and this is the part now we got to take some notes, all right? I want you to go and actually start to make some notes here, because we're going to dive into the 1, 2, 3s and the specifics of how to get this done. So key #1 is we got to spy on other influencers. Okay, we got to find these influencers, see what they're doing, and kind of, uncover golden opportunities on the land of Instagram. #2, how to pick only niche micro influencers who have a highly responsive audience, right? Because that's the key, folks. You don't want to be doing deals with influencers where their audience is it's like a wet noodle. It's as limp as a wet noodle. You want to have highly responsive, hyperactive followers, right? Because that means they're going to do what? They're going to click on your stuff and download and sign up and order more than anybody else because they're already highly responsive. I'm going to show you how to determine that and figure that out. Don't worry. And number 3 is to use the reverse spy hack to scale for bigger results, right? Okay, so the 3-step process, and we're going to dive into all these 3 steps and go through exactly how to do that. Okay, let me take a quick sip of water here. My throat's drying out because I'm talking so much, and we'll dive into the process right now. Okay. All right. I see a bunch of you are still active in the chat room. Save your questions for later. As I said, I'm promising to stick around at the end because yes, this is live. Part of the benefits of being here live is you get to pick my brain and ask specific questions at the end of the web class. All right. So obviously there's all kinds of things you could sell through Instagram. And of course you could promote content. You could promote a free report. You could promote a webinar. You could promote some kind of a free coaching call. I mean, there's all sorts of different ways you can kind of get results from Instagram. So what I want to talk about is just a generic example, like something like yoga mats. And why I chose yoga mats is because you probably already know this. Yoga is a crazy big niche. And as you see here, if you decide to release a yoga mat on Amazon, you will get crushed like a bug in a field under a size 14 boot. Done. Like you can't. I mean, there's like 4,000 competing yoga mats on Amazon. You already know that the top one here has 8,406 reviews. So I'm not sure if you're an Amazon person, but clearly you will not get top rankings on Amazon with all these competitors and the authority of these competitors, right? But however, how do we get traffic? Do we start, buying $2 clicks on Facebook? Do we start, just trying to get ranked on Google and spend 5 months of our life, or have to spend big bucks action for our yoga mats on Instagram? Of course, you can substitute this product with whatever it is that you're thinking about selling or that you're selling right now or promoting on the internet. Okay, so the number 1 key is to spy on influencer accounts, right? So when you go to Instagram, either mobile or desktop, all the top related accounts that relate to yoga. All right. So we can obviously go through and click on, for example, the top one, yoga, and you want to take a look at a few things. You want to take a look at the number of followers they have, and also you want to check the engagement rate. Okay. And the formula for checking the engagement rate is you open up the Instagram page, look at the average number of likes they're getting and comments per post, and divide that by the number of followers times 100. Okay, and if you're not a math whiz, don't worry. You can kind of eyeball it, get a bit of an idea, just do some general math in your head. Okay, so for example, here, this example, they've got 43,000 followers, so a good sized Instagram page. And we're looking at the number of likes and comments, just roughly doing some math, it's about 1,500. I mean, plus or minus, right? We don't have to be exact. So we take 1,500 divided by 43,000 followers times 100, we get 3.5 engagement rate. And 3.5 is a great engagement rate. Anything actually north of 2% is good. And the higher, the better, right? So in this case, with 43,000 followers, 3.5% engagement, this Carla Tafra is doing a great job with her followers on Instagram, providing good content. People are digging it. And of course, they are liking what she's sending. I mean, obviously, the currency here is the like button. If people are liking and commenting, you know that they're obviously giving her a virtual high five saying, hey, good job. We like what you're doing. Keep it coming. Do more of this, okay? So that's just looking at other related accounts on Instagram. That's step 1. We're searching for people, right? People who are obviously related to yoga or whatever the topic might be, or whatever the target market is that you're targeting. There are obviously people and accounts on Instagram who really specialize in those areas, much like you see here with yoga. Okay, so that's step 1. All right, take a deep breath. Nothing too complicated so far, right? So what you want to do is just add this influencer to your spreadsheet. Now, I'm going to give you this spreadsheet with all the fields here and also some additional tips I've added to the spreadsheet. So you basically want to add the hashtag, how you found them, add the URL, the Instagram URL, add the username, add the bio, which will have information in there. Also, you can add a link to the website if there is one, add the email address, you can contact them, and of course, the number of followers, following posts, and engagement rate. Now, in green, I've circled the important parts because if you can contact them by email, then that's the best way to contact them. You can also send them a direct message, but email is great because it's just easy and you point and click and you're done. Also, you want to pay attention to the number of followers because the sweet spot is what? If you're paying attention, 10,000, right? 43,000 is a bit high, but I would not discount them. It's definitely within the range I would focus on. And again, the engagement rate is so high. I say this is a great influencer to add to your list for follow-up. All right. So that's one down. The second key is to find posts with a high engagement rate. So we've already talked about how to actually find people. Now we're searching on the posts themselves, right? So I kind of put the red line on those accounts. We've searched on them. And I find that most people do not search on posts. And this is a huge, huge mistake because we're finding a lot of great influencers that most folks just don't even find. They search for people and then they stop, right? But we're doing things differently, right? We're doing things a bit against the grain. And that's why I want you to search on yoga again, and I want you to click on the hashtag, for example, hashtag yoga or hashtag life. And when you do that, of course, it's going to show you all the individual posts that have been tagged with hashtag yoga. And of course, Instagram will show you at the top post. And then at the bottom, it just shows you just a whole massive list of just posts that have been, posted over the past few weeks or months or whatever. So you can start by looking at the top posts and click on one of those that kind of catches your eye. For example, we see here 1,056 likes and 30 comments. That's some decent activity. It's not like they have 10 likes or anything. So I'm going to click on that. So this Instagram page is called Alexic Twins. And we see here 50,000 followers. Again, getting up there. I mean, they obviously have a huge following. They're not 10,000, but I mean, that range can really depend. You want to kind of stay around 10,000, but I mean, 40, 50,000 is still a good number. It's not like 200,000, right? And looking at, again, the basic math, just doing an eyeball, roughly 3,000 is is sort of the likes and the comments, divided by 50,100 times 100, we got a 6% engagement rate. Phenomenal, right? I mean, they've really done a great job with their audience because they're getting such a high degree of engagement rate. And once again, that means that people are liking, they're commenting, they're paying attention, they're viewing the posts, they're not just ignoring what Alexic Twins is posting. So these are the kind of influencers in your niche, or these influencers that are actually talking to people in your niche. These are the kind of people you want to piggyback off of and tap into their followers. Is that making sense? You kind of seeing how the process is falling together. So obviously, once we find someone like Alexic Twins, we're like, awesome, let's go ahead and add them to the spreadsheet as well. So now we've got another line item here on here. We've added them. We've got an email address, which is great. We got the followers, we got the engagement rate. So you can see now we're kind of building this kind of outreach template to have a real good short list of influencers we're going to contact to hopefully work out a deal with them, get them to promote our stuff, get them to do a shout out, get them to do a review, get them to recommend our book, get them to recommend our product, get them to use our service, whatever it is that you want to do. You can find influencers who have that active audience that you want to tap into that are perfect prospects for you. So, with me so far? Again, nothing too crazy complicated. Obviously, this process will take some time just to go through potentially on dozens and dozens of accounts. I'm showing you a couple of quick examples where I went through a bunch of dead wood and I found the examples that worked. But obviously, you have to go through. It's like fishing. You throw your line on the water, reel it in, get some new bait, throw it back in, reel it in, change the lure, move the boat to a different location. It's just like fishing, right? You got to kind of spend some time on the water before you actually find a good catch, right? So the third key is what I call the reverse spy hack. All right. So once again, we're going to hashtag yoga. We're doing a hashtag search. I've showed you this in the previous example. And this is where things really get exciting and where I really want to you put your spy cap on here. Okay. So once again, we've seen Alexic Twins. We're like, all right, that's great. And most folks may stop there. However, I want you to kind of dig a bit deeper. If you dig a bit deeper, you see that they mention an actual company in their Instagram post. You see here, they mention Liquido Active Gear. All right. Maybe they're nice people and they just feel the need to promote a random activewear company. However, I think it makes more sense that they probably got incentivized either through a paid post, or maybe Liquido Active Gear sent them a bunch of samples and said, hey, would you try our yoga pants or try our stretch pants and let us know what you think. And they might have said, hey, you know what? This is great. I'm going to actually mention this, that I'm wearing this in this photo, right? When I see things like this is when I get excited. This is when kind of the lights start blinking and I'm like, okay, now we're finding an influencer who obviously is already promoting other products. You know what I'm saying? Like they're already doing this. They're promoting other products. They're comfortable with it. And the fact is, they could probably do the same for us. However, though, we are only scratching the surface. Okay. So here's where things get crazy. Get ready. Another example. This one here, this Rebecca Bird. I see that she mentions hashtag Coco Kind in her post. I'm like, that's an odd word. That's not exactly like a word like health or eyes or yoga. And by the way, these are horrible hashtags. Hashtag eyes, hashtag fresh. I mean, horrible hashtags. If you want someone to find your post using Instagram as a search engine, who's going to type in hashtag eyes? I mean, come on, it's ridiculous, right? I mean, or hashtag, freckles. Who types in hashtag freckles on Instagram? Anyway, sidebar rant. You don't want to do that. So Coco Kind caught my eye. I'm like, what is this Coco Kind? And again, she's mentioning this in her Instagram post. Why? Maybe she's a nice person, but probably there's some kind of incentive. And as an influencer, somebody approached her and said, hey, would you mind doing a shout out? Would you mind trying our product? Would you mind mentioning us in a post? We would greatly appreciate it. So you want to look for influencers who are already promoting products, services, software, city attractions, brands related to your niche, if possible, because this is the secret sauce here. This is really where you're going to find influencers and find opportunities where nobody else is looking. Again, I talked about this earlier. We want to zig when everyone else is zagging, right? So here's how we go down the influencer rabbit hole, okay? This is where things get exciting. So Liquido Active, 48,892 posts. Again, I'm doing a hashtag search on Instagram. Some of these posts here are from actually the Instagram page, Liquido Active, but a lot of them are from influencers, okay? On the right side, Coco Kind, which is a skincare line. So you know what? Yoga, wellness, skincare. Yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, there's obviously, if you're doing yoga, you're not eating McDonald's every day or like, plastering coconut oil on your face and sitting in the sun all day. That's just, you can make those safe assumptions, right? And you have to make those safe assumptions with your audience as well. What else are they into? If they're into yoga, they're into wellness, spirituality, probably eating all kinds of green smoothies, into organic or natural skincare. So a lot of people posting here, again, are influencers who are into yoga, into wellness, into health. If you have a product that's related in any way, shape, or form to the health, wellness, spirituality, bingo, you're finding influencers who are already on board and promoting Coco Kind. They're already promoting Liquido Active. Are the lights kind of starting to come on? Are you starting to see how we can go into the rabbit hole and find warm influencers who are already doing this stuff, right? They're already promoting other brands and they don't have 300,000 or a million followers. And there's very few people doing this, right? This is when things get exciting. And when I see other brands being mentioned on an influencer's page, it's game on for me. I mean, that's it. It's boom. I dive in, I go wide and deep, and I start gathering intel on all these other influencers who are already promoting other companies, right? And what you do, of course, you repeat the process and scale. You just keep adding more and more items to your spreadsheet. So it becomes like this massive list of really hot, high engagement influencers who can literally explode your business once you tap into their tens and thousands of highly active followers. Does that make sense? That's how you really start to scale things. So I want you to kind of think about different niches here, because obviously we've talked a bit about physical products, but this can be done in just dozens and dozens of different ways. For example, I did some brainstorming before the call, and I was thinking, well, what if my target market is entrepreneurs? What if I sell laptop bags? What if I sell, I don't know, maybe motivational posters? You have these posters that have these quotes and says like, like whatever, hashtag hustle, whatever the heck it says. I've seen them before. Or even t-shirts that have, like I'm an entrepreneur, I think I can, I will, whatever it is. I mean, if your target market is entrepreneurs, you got to think, what hashtags would they be tagging to their posts? Or what influencers who are entrepreneurs or targeting entrepreneurs, what hashtags would they use in their posts, right? Co-working life. If you're an entrepreneur, a lot of them use these co-working spaces where there's like a shared office, a shared meeting room. It costs you like $800 a month. And you have a small company, so you can't afford to spend $8,000 on leasing a workspace. So a lot of times, people in that niche who are entrepreneurs, entrepreneurial life, will use hashtag co-working life. You can find them that way. Look at the posts, find other influencers, boom, follow the process I just showed you, you're done. WeWork. WeWork is actually a co-working space company, one of the fastest growing companies in that niche in the USA, actually the fastest growing company. There's 286,000 plus hashtags on Instagram right now, or posts rather, utilizing that. So there's 286,000 posts that use the hashtag WeWork. Folks, these are not people who work for IBM. These are people who have small solo or 5-person companies, and WeWork has already contacted them to promote WeWork. Again, just like I showed you earlier with Coco Life or whatever, we're focusing on influencers who are already promoting WeWork, which is already targeting entrepreneurs. Does that make sense? Entrepreneur lifestyle. There's lots of folks who sell to entrepreneurs. They post pictures on Instagram about the entrepreneur lifestyle, and they use the hashtag entrepreneur lifestyle. So again, folks, we're just reverse engineering hashtags and finding influencers who already are either in our target market or their audience is in our target market, and we're finding them that way. Okay, the reverse spy hack, as I showed you, very powerful. If you're into apps or gaming, hashtag Bejeweled Stars. 123 posts right now. Now, I know that Bejeweled Stars went from like, I think they were like 190 in the App Store, went to like number 60 in a very short amount of time, just by contacting influencers and saying, hey, would you mind doing a shout out about our Bejeweled game? And bam, it worked. I mean, just doing that outreach campaign made it work. Obviously, one of the most popular games right now is Fortnite. Fortnite Fun, 56,000 posts right now on Instagram with the hashtag Fortnite Fun. If you're a gaming company and you have some kind of an action game coming out that may be, you know, similar in a certain way to Fortnite, very easily could you put together an outreach campaign and just force feed your apps into all these influencers and get them to promote it to, again, tens and tens of thousands of their gaming fans. Is that kind of making sense on how you use this system? If you're a local agency, like if you service local customers or any kind of customers as an agency, I mean, obviously, if you're looking at servicing companies locally, let's say it's a nightclub that wants to use your services to promote their nightclub. Hashtag Miami Nightlife. 672,000 posts use the hashtag Miami Nightlife, right? I mean, obviously, there's a lot of people who are clubbing, a lot of influencers who are, you know, going and snapping pictures about all the clubs in Miami. Those are the kind of people you'd love to get on board to promote your client's nightclub, right? Does that make sense? Looking here, Miami Nightclub, 12,000 posts. Hashtag Miami Hairstylist, 682,000 posts are using the hashtag Miami Hairstylist. So again, folks, if you've got anybody in the hairstyle business who's in Miami, you can do some creative hashtag searches and find those influencers who are already talking about Miami nightlife or Miami hairstyles or whatever. And we can go on and on and on with all different examples. The health, wellness, fitness. I gave you 2 examples earlier. I mean, Bulletproof Coffee. Everybody knows what Bulletproof Coffee is, right? They've done a great job. 336,000 posts use the hashtag Bulletproof Coffee. If you have any kind of product that relates to people that are probably Bulletproof Coffee fans, again, you can find all their best influencers, all their best brand ambassadors by utilizing the reverse spy hack. Okay, it's that simple, folks. It's easy to do. LCHF Life. If you're not sure what that is, you may think you're going down to a deep, dark spot of Instagram. Don't worry, no. LCHF stands for low carb, high fat. There's a lot of people now who are big believers in low carb, high fat diet. So once again, if you have any kind of products that relate to someone who's into health, wellness, feeling good, being better, longevity, all these things, look at the posts that have the hashtag LCHF Life. You'll find a ton of influencers who already are into this stuff. There'd be perfect brand ambassadors for you, perfect people to promote your posts or content. So is this all making sense now? I'm trying to just give you a bunch of different ideas because, again, I'm not sure what niche you're in or what your products are, but I want to kind of give you a full circle opportunity about how you can do this a B2B, B2C with products, memberships, services, local offerings, digital downloads, I mean, whatever it is. You can find those people on Instagram. Why? Because again, there's 1.1 billion people. I'm sure as heck going to believe there's some app gamers on Instagram. I'm going to believe there's some people interested in Miami nightlife on Instagram. Also, same with wellness, right? It's just a matter of you using creative hashtag searches and the reverse spy hack to find them, right? Again, thousands of hashtag ideas to find your ideal audience there, right? So the question is, we've gone about, what's here, 40 minutes now. And my question is, can you follow and replicate the simple 3-step process I just showed you, right? not complicated. Right now, actually, my kids are off school. Today's the last day, actually, which should be a bit crazy. The parents can relate. And with my 3 kids, we're sitting down and putting together a game plan for Instagram. The same process I'm showing you right now. And my kids are 12, 14, and 16. And I'm pretty sure they can get a handle of stuff because it's not that difficult. All right. But you're probably feeling a bit like this chap right here, right? It's a little bit overwhelming. I realize that. And there's a lot of pieces. It's a lot of time involved to manually do all these searches just to come up with a list of 10 or 20 influencers you can contact, right? And you're not alone, because according to Forbes magazine, the 3 biggest influencer marketing challenges are what? 1, identifying the right influencers. 2, measuring campaign ROI. And 3, attracting and engaging influencers. And 75% of marketers say their top challenge is identifying the right influencer. So I get it. I get it. It's not easy to kind of just, dive in there and start picking out influencers left and right. So what are your options? Obviously, there's options besides the manual way I showed you. You can use a service aggregator or a broker, and there's companies like Grin. Not cheap, I got to be honest with you. $600 a month to use their services, and it goes and kind of finds influencers for you. There's a company called Shout. It's an influencer search engine. About $97 a month, up to $297 a month, depending on how many searches and credits you need. Or, of course, there are more and more influencer marketing agencies that are coming out now. Like you see here, American Noise is a big one. Influencer marketing agency, or War is another one that's out there. So you've got some options, right? So what about free tools? My thing to you is don't fall for the free trick. And I did plenty of searches over the past few months trying to find, software to really automate the process of finding influencers. And of course, if you Google what I've shown you here, you'll see all these great articles like top 5 free tools, top 8 free influencer marketing tools, 15 free influencer marketing tools. And if you want to waste your time and spend an hour doing that, you'll quickly find it's a load of BS. It's usually trials to the products I showed you earlier, or it's services that are just completely useless, that don't really offer you a value or save time or make it easier, right? So I'm suggesting you don't do that. So remember earlier, we talked about this system requires you to do something, right? I mean, you can see that clearly you have to do a bit of work. You can use some automation to make it easier. And I'll talk about that in just a second here. And it's not like Facebook ads where you log in, click a button, and the ads are live. So can you see now why there's not a overpouring amount of competitors in your niche or other marketers utilizing influencers? Because you don't have that convenience of the Google AdWords panel or the Facebook ads panel. And that's why I said earlier, there's an opportunity here for you to jump in, roll up your sleeves, and do this stuff before everybody else decides to jump on board. And yes, I realize that it takes some time to kind of go through and manually do these searches like I showed you, utilizing the 3 steps, and comb through Instagram, look at all dozens and dozens of different profiles like I'm showing you here, just to get a sense on which are the influencers you want to work with a high number of followers and a high engagement rate. And my question to you is that, do you want an affordable and automated way to find, outreach, and manage your ideal influencers so you can get traffic and sales on Instagram today? And if you do, I've got some good news for you. So we're kind of at a crossroads here. We're kind of getting close to kind of wrapping this up here. So there's a path, left path and right path. And we're standing here thinking, which way do we turn here? On the left side, you can use the information I've given you today and wing it. I mean, companies have done this for the past few years. I've given you some examples, and I'll show you another case study soon. The process works, and what I've given you, you can take with and run with it. Of course, trial and error is the most expensive way to learn, right? Unfortunately, I've done things through trial and error. A lot of things I've taught you today are based upon trial and error and making mistakes and trying to, put the car in reverse, back up, and change direction. Might take you 6 months to get there, to kind of put the pieces together, and you might get scammed, yes, and you might lose money because there are some Instagram scammers out there, just to kind of warn you about that. And you probably won't scale. Why? Because the time constraints, because it takes a lot of time to just constantly be putting this together and finding these rock star influencers who can really make things happen for you, okay? The second option is to get results following a proven blueprint, my blueprint I've put together, having done this stuff for a few months now. I get all my checklists, my shortcuts, swipe files, and the automated software, which really is the crown jewel that makes all this stuff just so much easier. So you can find dozens, even hundreds of influencers in minutes without taking hours and hours of time to do this. And you can easily find influencers, get their attention, book promotions, and make sales or get downloads, whatever you want to do, and do it quickly, right? Without getting burned or scammed. And I'll show you various ways we can very quickly find out if there's some shenanigans going on with these influencers, okay? So If you're thinking to yourself, you know, like, forget that. I don't want to do things manually. I don't want to be a slave to the keyboard. I want to just hit the pavement running. Yes, I want the software. I want to start doing this, and I want to really find the path of least resistance. Well, you want to take a look at my brand new Influencer Spy software and training system. When I say brand new, I don't mean like, oh, it was released in 2015. I mean, this is brand spanking new. This is literally the first web class I've done with you people talking about this, and you're my own people, my own audience, right? I mean, brand spanking new, just has come out of the gate. And actually, just to give you a warning, there still is paint on the walls. I'm still tying up a few loose ends here, and I'll explain why you can take advantage of that in just a second here. So Influencer Spy is the most powerful and complete Instagram influencer marketing system that both eliminates and automates the biggest roadblocks to success and gives you a massive advantage, whether you're just starting out or experienced, okay? And if you give me just a few minutes here, I want to just kind of power through this, just talk a bit about what I put together. I'm really excited about this, and I hope you share my passion once you see what it can do for you, especially the software. I'll show you a demo of the software real quick, and then we're going to circle back. I've got the download for you. Also, I've got a live Q&A session, as I mentioned as well. So we're just kind of wrapping things up here. So just stick around for a few more minutes. And if you're new, you don't have a product, not a problem. I'm going to give you the step-by-step process to get traffic using influencers on Instagram. There are literally hundreds of different niches with influencers. It's not like there's just two. I mean, again, 1.1 billion people, folks. These folks are into everything from pig breeding to, I don't know, banning plastic bottles. I mean, there's a huge variety of people in different niches and with interests, right? No ads master required, and you don't have to be some kind of an Instagram ninja, as you probably realize by now, right? And you don't need to have an Instagram account. You don't need tens of thousands of followers. Why? Because we're using the influencers who have the tens of thousands of followers. And you will see results quickly in a matter of days. Once you put an agreement together with an influencer and they give you the green light, I mean, it can happen in a matter of days. And you won't break the bank or lose money like you will when buying Facebook ads or Google ads or whatever traffic system you're pumping money into. And this is the ultimate low cost or no cost way. And I will show you that case study later on, I promised, about a company that ballooned up utilizing a no cost traffic. So if you already have experience, well, that's cool. You can really dive in, you kind of strap yourself in, scale, go wide and deep, and get dozens of influencers promoting your product. You'll get daily traffic and sales. Penny clicks are often free, as I've mentioned. Eliminate the growth bottlenecks associated with influencer marketing. Become the dominant leader in your niche like so many other companies have done. I mentioned one, Shreds, earlier. I'm going to mention another company in about 3 minutes. And create constant buzz and conversations around your brand, your product, your service, whatever it is that you're offering, okay? So what is Influencer Spy all about? Of course, software and blueprint. I'm not a big believer in just giving you software and having you figure it out for yourself. And I'm not a big believer in just giving you training and saying, well, go spend the next 9 months of your life in hell trying to do this stuff. I'm a big believer in having both, like giving you the car and then giving you the instruction and the in-class training to really make the best use of the car and not wrap your car on a tree. Does that make sense? So it's software and blueprint. We've got the Influencer Spy success system, 6 modules, which we'll talk about, also the automated software. And the goal is to get you up to speed with influencer marketing so you can see results ASAP. I don't want you doing this for like 4 months and finally hitting the pavement running. I'm talking about like getting through the training, and within the next week, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, you're going to start seeing results with the stuff. That's really how fast things can happen. And that's how the training is designed, giving you a step-by-step roadmap so you can scale as well, okay? So I mentioned earlier, 75% of marketers say the top challenge is identifying the right influencers, right? So I got this idea a few months ago, and obviously those of you who know me know I have a software background. I'm like, can this process I just showed you, we went through it step by step with a few influencers, can it be automated? And the great thing is we're able to kind of crack the code and figure this out. And yes, you can automate all this. I mean, literally to get diamonds, you've got to dig, right? Get your hands dirty, get dirt under your fingernails. Well, that's what my software does for you automatically. But the good thing is you never have to touch the dirt. You never have to dig your hands into the mucky soil. The software does all that heavy lifting for you automatically. So you can easily find all the best Instagram influencers in your niche, and it filters the best hidden, easy to work with micro influencers with the highly engaged audiences you want, so you get more wins, right? You want that highly engaged audience, and we can find them with laser precision utilizing the software, right? So question is, do you want to see a quick demo of my new software? Now, the good news is I'm horrible at giving software demos because I go off on tangents, I get excited, and it'll take you half an hour. The cool thing is I've actually pre-recorded a nice short demo. It's like 3 minutes, and I had to do it 4 times to show you exactly what the software is all about. So if you give me a second here, I'm going to go and change my screen and show you a real quick demo, since I know that seeing is believing. So I'm going to play this for you, and then you can see what it's all about. So let's do this now. I'll be back in literally 3 minutes. Hey, real quick, I want to show you how the Influencer Spy software works. And once you see how much time this saves you, I think you'll be really excited. It really just cuts through this research process in literally a number of minutes. So there's 2 tabs you can see here. One is the hashtag generator. And what this does, you put it in a hashtag like yoga, a larger hashtag, click the go button here. And what it does, it basically goes through and it allows you to just find all the top hashtags on Instagram. It's searching Instagram directly. So rather than you going there and doing queries one by one, as you can see here, it's gathering all the data, including the number of posts per hashtag. So what you're actually able to do here is to find the most popular hashtags if you want to go wide and deep, or to find hashtags that have less competition if you're trying to rank. So I'm going to stop that here because we could be here for a few minutes, but you can see we can sort here based upon the number of posts. So I can find those monster hashtags at the top here, as you can see, and use those as part of my campaign and my approach, okay? The second part is the search tab here. And the search tab is really where Influencer Spy shines. Let me show you how it works. You click on the box here. I'm going to cut and paste in a few hashtags. If you recall in the webinar, we talked about Liquido Active, the activewear. We reverse engineer hacked all the influencers utilizing that hashtag and promoting that product. The same with Coco Kind, all right? And I threw in for good measure a general hashtag like Yoga Beginner, which we found in the previous hashtag generator example, all right? Now you can search people, search Instagram accounts that are related to any of these hashtags, or we can search on posts. So we're going to search on posts here, and you can put in a filter if you want to. I'm going to put in the minimum amount of followers at 1,000 and the minimum amount of likes on the post they find at 10. And you could set this any range you want to, depending on how large or more narrow you want to go with finding influencers. So we click on the add hashtags here, and I'm going to pause it while the software works its magic in the next few minutes. Take a look at what we got here, okay? It's finished looking at all these influencers. We got a lot. You see the big list of influencers here. A lot of contacts we have found on Instagram. Now, of course, you can sort this data any way you want to. On the left here, we see the hashtag that was used to actually find that influencer. And of course, you could sort on the number of followers and say, I want to sort from largest to smallest. We have some nice influencers here with, it looks like 272,000, 184,000, right down to 67,000, all the way down to even smaller micro niche influencers like 5,000, 5,000, 5,000. So you can sort that as we want to and just eliminate some of the smaller influencers. Also, you can sort on engagement rate. This is very, very powerful because, again, you want influencers who have the highest engaged audience, right? And you can't fake this stuff, folks, easily. Engagement rate. So right here, we've got an influencer with a smaller audience, 1,604, but 28% engagement rate. Let's kind of go a little higher here and see what we got. Here, 4,916, 15.24% engagement. These are great influencers. 12,023 followers, 11.91 engagement rate. These are amazing influencers. If you're in anything to do with the yoga niche or wellness, you've got a lot of influencers you can outreach to. And as you can see here, it does give you the email address when it can pull it from the actual profile to make it easier for outreach. Now, you can do a few things. You can actually take these and copy them one by one. And copy them over to a spreadsheet, and then I've got ways to automate the process with follow-up in the actual Influencer Spy course. But can you see how much time this will save you? I mean, once I put the software together, I was blown away at how much time I could save by allowing the software to do the heavy lifting for me and to find the very best influencers. They're right here. These are the people you want to contact if this is your particular niche. And these are the influencers who have already promoted other products, so you know they're responsive to you outreaching with them as well. So I hope you're excited about the software and potentially what it can do for you when finding and outreaching influencers. Okay, we are back, and I guess I hope that even worked, because I guess I should check here in the chat. Let me know if you saw that. I'm gonna cross my fingers here. Just give me a comment like a yes or it worked. Congratulations, because I don't really play videos ever in my webinars. So yeah, I see a bunch of comments here. Gideon, wow. I see Fred says awesome. Bill says looks sweet. Okay, I see comments coming in that you saw it. That's good. So we know that we didn't break the internet. That's great. So let me just kind of power along here a little bit. And again, we're going to wrap things up here with the Q&A and also that download. So, I mean, no more 6-hour spreadsheet hell, right? You can clearly see that now. We're not going to go and have to worry about filling in the old spreadsheet and spending hours and hours of time. You can go as wide and deep as you want to, folks. If you only want influencers with 6% engagement or higher, you're going to have to sift through a lot of accounts, right? And do a lot of calculations. And as you can see, the software does it for you automatically. So the software is a must because obviously it saves you hours of time. You can quickly filter dozens, hundreds, or thousands of niche micro-influencers with active, highly engaged audiences. It organizes your list of influencers, which makes your outreach and your follow-up a breeze. And like I said, I have ways to automate that, which I talk about in the course. Again, safely. We're not spamming people, just to be clear. Safe automation, right? And the important part is finding your ideal influencers is not a one-time exercise. Listen, Instagram is changing all the time. There's new influencers entering Instagram every day, and also the way Instagram displays the results. A lot of times they're shuffling the deck, so you'll see different results daily, weekly, depending on the niche. You're always going to find new influencers you can actually work with. And the good news is you're never going to hit the glass ceiling and say, oh, well, hey, it's been 2 weeks and I basically milked Instagram with all the influence. That's not going to happen. Again, 1.1 billion people. There's a lot of micro influencers out there you can work with. So obviously the software is one component we have. There's other components I want to talk about real quick that to kind of complete the whole package, if you will. If you're just getting started, I do have a module on Instagram 101. So if you're a total newbie when it comes to Instagram, we'll talk about, navigating Instagram, setting up accounts. And also if you're completely new to influencer marketing, I do have like a 101 module. So don't worry, we're definitely going to get you on your training wheels before we kind of send you off riding the bike on your own here. So module 1 is about strategy. If you don't know where you're going, you'll never get there, right? We're going to lock down your audience and end goal, what to do. What do you want from Instagram? Is it traffic, leads, appointments, or sales? We're going to lock that down. And then we're going to kind of figure out the best type of influencer campaigns that you should be running, and also the different types of Instagram post types, the pros and cons. And again, just to find out what makes the best sense for you and your business. Second module, you could probably tell it's my most favorite, the SPY module. We're going to talk about why hashtags are critical to your success, and we'll give you an instant 70%, that's 70, engagement boost. I kid you not. How to reverse engineer competitors, best hashtags and ads. We talked about that a little bit here today. I've got a lot more to show you to go down the rabbit hole with spying. And again, we want to cover what's already working, right? And also we want to keep you FTC compliant. The scary thing is I bought a lot of courses on influencer marketing, and none of them talk about keeping yourself FTC compliant, which is ridiculous because it literally takes you 5 seconds to do that. I'll explain that in the course as well. Module 3 is search. We want to find the best types of influencers to get the best results, the sweet spot, how to rapidly filter and find dozens or hundreds of ideal influencers. Of course, the software plays a huge part in that. The 3 key metrics that will ripple affect your results, and how to sniff out fake influencers so you don't get scammed or burned. Okay, like I said, there's a bit of shenanigans. You need to be aware of it. There's a real simple way you can find out if you should be not dealing with an influencer in that module. Module 4 is about sending. We've got the attention of the influencer. We're going to avoid the mistakes that 90% of people make. You do not want to just wing it and start sending emails to influencers because most of them will ignore you. I'm going to show you how to get the attention of them. Also, how to automate your personalized outreach. It's a huge time saver. And again, the emphasis is personalized. We're not spamming influencers with emails. We're doing things really cool. We're being totally legit and professional, and that's why the results you'll get will be way better than people just kind of go off the cuff. Also going to show you how to save 25% on your influencer ads with literally 1 sentence added to your communication. Module 5 is where it's all coming together. We're going to talk about the types of influencer ads you can run. Some are free, some are paid. There's pros and cons. When should you pay them and how much if you decide to work on a paid type of arrangement? And what makes a good ad? We'll talk about image ads, video ads, the components you need to think about to get the best results on Instagram. Also going to give you a great pre-ad campaign checklist. So before you do anything with an influencer, run through that ad, cross your T's, dot your I's to make sure you're not forgetting anything. Also going to talk about how to track your results, your ROI, after you put a deal together. And we're going to analyze just sample influencer ad campaigns and talk about why they're effective, what they did well, and maybe things they could have done better as well. So module 6 is really kind of like the finish line, right? You've kind of gone through, got your feet wet. Now it's really about putting the old gas can on the campfire. It's about scaling, going big, and negotiating even more ad discounts. Pre-stock influencer ads for months and months of traffic. So you kind of just set it up, leave it alone, and the traffic starts coming in automatically. Also, 6 more ways for you to scale and blow up your traffic and sales, okay? On Instagram and off Instagram, right? So all this stuff included, we're looking at now conservative value of $1,494. A couple more things I want to add here before we kind of wrap things up. How many of you can relate to this right here? Do you hate this, the blinking cursor syndrome? It drives me crazy. Anytime I'm writing an email or writing web copy, it just drives you nuts. Well, the cool thing is you're not going to deal with blinking cursor or anything because I'm going to give you my best email swipe files, right? You basically just cut and paste what I give you, hit send. You'll know exactly what to say to influencers and how to say it so you get the best results. This applies to emails and also direct messages as well, okay? So we're throwing that in, cut and paste, outreach scripts. A couple more things to tell you about here. The value is $1,694 now. I don't know if you can relate to Forgetful Freddy. I'm happy to admit I often forget what I learn. And that's why, to make it easier for you to kind of get this stuff and absorb it, I'm going to give you a bunch of checklists and summary sheets. You never experience the, I forget how to do X. You'll never have to go back and watch 9 or 10 videos again. These are very, very simple, kind of like cliff notes. And before you evaluate an influencer, contact them or book an influencer ad campaign, look at your checklist. If you forget how to do something, look at your summary sheets rather than watch 5 videos. Does that make sense? Again, maybe you have a photographic memory. I don't. I forget. So I need to have these cheat sheets. I'm sure you'll appreciate those. So that's basically it. I'm going to throw in a bunch of unannounced bonuses and webinars. You'll just have to trust me on that. I mean, I'm still putting those together, but conservatively, there'll be good value there. $300 is probably on the low end. So everything we've kind of thrown on the table here, again, folks, without using stupid, crazy numbers you've seen before, a real conservative value of $2,143, okay? And yes, I know you can do this because can you use my software to find dozens of influencers in your niche or hundreds of others? Yes, you can. Can you cut and paste an email or direct message template and contact influencers? Yes, I know you can. Can you follow my step-by-step process to lock down your first campaign or even more campaigns? Yes, I know you can. And can you scale this with more influencers and get consistent traffic, leads, and sales for your business? Again, yes, I know you can. And also, can you get help from me along the way? Since this is a brand new product, obviously, it's in my best interest to make sure I'm working as closely with you as I can. Obviously, this isn't a coaching program, but I want to make sure you're getting results. And I'll explain why that is in the next few minutes. But yes, I'm definitely in your corner to help you move the puck up the ice as well. Now, we talked about this earlier, right? I mean, there's kind of 2 things you can look at here. People can really find solutions, get results, or make excuses, right? I mean, and the bottom line is that you have an opportunity here today to jump in, to take advantage of Instagram and influencers while there are few people in your niche or even in your market doing this, and get traction and get results and get that traffic that you want. Or you can just make excuses why the timing's bad or there's other things going on and you got to finish your website first. And that's fine. You can make all excuses you want, but you really can't have it both ways. You're going to get traffic and results from influencers, or you're going to get excuses. So if you're an action taker and a person that jumps on opportunities and you see the puck is clearly going to Instagram and you see there's a huge opportunity here, I want to reward you as an action taker and as an early adopter of this program, give you an instant $400 discount on this, okay? So I want to introduce the Influencer Spy pilot program. Like I said, fair warning, the paint is still wet on the walls. It's still drying. I just put this together, okay? Software's working great as you saw. The course is ready. I'm still fine-tuning things. I want to give you a super discount for an early adopter. So if you promise to go through the entire course and apply what I teach, and give me a Scout's honor, hands in the air. Yes, I do. You can do that. And also, if you promise you're willing to share your results with me. It could be a Skype chat. It could be a case study. It could be a testimonial. It could be an email. I don't know. Just, hey, Jason, I applied what you taught, and here's what happened. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you're willing to promise that you're willing to give me that feedback, because I need those success stories, then you can take an immediate $400 off. All right. And if that's not exciting enough, once we actually hit the market and launch this thing, the price will probably be about $597. I don't know exactly, but I'm thinking about $597 for what I'm giving you here. And the pilot, $997, and the pilot program price takes off that discount, which is $597. But to And the only way to get that is to go to yesispy.com/go and use the coupon code SAVE300. But hold on a second. Before you do that, who wants to slash an extra $300 off this thing? I mean, I'm really taking the pencil down to the eraser, folks. I'm just grinding that thing because as part of this pilot program, I really want to make sure that I get a few people into this thing who are going to be action takers. If you're going to buy this thing and then not use it for a year, don't sign up. If you're going to buy this thing and you're serious and you're committed, you're an action taker, you're the kind of person I want into the pilot program. So to save an additional $300 off of this, and if you're bad at math, $597 minus $300, $297. Okay. The only way to get into the pilot program is right here, right now. yesispy.com/go. For those of you that are keyboard challenged like myself, let me put that link here into the chat box here. You should see that come up in just another few seconds here. Okay. Or just go to the keyboard, yesispy.com/go. All right. And again, use that coupon code because the only way to get that additional $300 off is you got to put in that code SAVE300. So when you click on the link or you go to yesispy.com/go, you're going to see obviously an order page. As you see circled in circled in blue, put in SAVE300, click the apply button, okay? And then you should see, as you see here, an immediate discount applied of $300. So you're only paying $297. This is part of the pilot program. This is the first time, as you know, I have actually announced this to my own, audience who knows me, and obviously we've been together a long time. And this will not be forever. I mean, the pilot program is called a pilot program because it's a pilot program. And once that's done, we're shutting her down. The price is going up and you will pay more for this. So even if you're just remotely interested in doing this over the next little while, I strongly suggest you hop on board. Take advantage of that big discount I'm giving you because when I actually do release this into the wild very shortly, the price is going up and why pay more? I'm giving you a great discount and you can save some big cash immediately. So yesispy.com/go. Make sure you use that coupon code SAVE300, okay? We're going to get into the Q&A in just a few minutes here. We got a bunch of folks I see who are still in the chat here posting questions. Save those questions. We're almost there, okay? Now, I never like to make income promises, as you know. I never like to make, any kind of claims, you're going to make this kind of money. But, I mean, many people want to know how much money can you make with Influencer Spy. Well, what I want to do is kind of give you some averages rather than talk about stupid numbers like $10,000 a day, which we both know that that's very unlikely you'll achieve. The industry average in terms of return on investment for people using influencers, and you see on the left here, for every $1 spent creates $11.69 in return. That's an industry average. That's not my number. Okay, these are big marketing and consulting companies who do all kinds of research on influencer marketing. So if you spend $1, you could get $11.69 back in return. Okay. And the cool thing is you see on the right, 84% of marketers judge influencer marketing to be effective. So most folks say, yes, it works. 67% of marketers will increase influencer marketing budget over the next year. So most people are doing more of it. Why? Because it's working, right? And 55% of marketers believe they get better customers from influencer marketing. We talked about this earlier, right? It's fastest growing customer acquisition method, the most low cost method, right? So, obvious question is, using these numbers, if you gave me $1 and I gave you $11.69 back, would you take the deal? Of course. If you gave me $100 or you give an influencer $100 rather, and they gave you $1,169 back, would you take it? And on and on and on. I mean, $1,000, you could conceivably get $11,690 back. I mean, again, these are general numbers. I'm not saying these are income claims, and I'm using the general guidelines and statistics that these big marketing companies have done as it applies to influencer marketing. Okay. Another idea for you, if you have an agency or you're thinking about maybe dabbling in becoming an agency. I mean, I know of companies right now that are charging $3,000 per month per client. And what they're doing is basically managing the process I just showed you of the past hour, or better yet, utilizing my software to do all the heavy lifting and then get a check from the client because you spent 15 minutes running through the software and finding a bunch of influencers. You can easily start an agency. It's very hot right now. Use the iSpy system and software to help clients. Most online businesses have no clue about this stuff, folks. They have no idea. They're completely in the dark. They have zero knowledge about how to get in front of the top Instagram influencers in their niche. You can do that for them. And of course, you have the knowledge and the tools, and that's why you charge them a few $1,000s a month. And they will gladly pay you to be their Instagram traffic and sales rainmaker. And what is a rainmaker? It's a person who generates income for a business organization by brokering deals or attracting clients or funds. Isn't that exactly what we're doing, right? With influencers, we're just brokering deals, trying to get them to do a shout out or to mention, your content, or to send traffic to your download page or opt-in page. That's what you can do for clients as well. So if you're excited about this stuff, there's an order button on your screen, or go to this link, yesispy.com/go. And please, I've said it 10 times already, just make sure you put that coupon code in, SAVE300, and make sure you see that discount in the cart before you continue. Okay. So before we dive into the Q&A, here's a cool case study I want to talk about. And this is a company called Blenders Eyewear. I've never heard of them. You've probably never heard of them as well, right? Chase Fisher is a co-founder, an eyeglasses brand that's grown into a 7-figure e-commerce store. Huge business, right? No one's ever heard of them. That's the beauty of Instagram. These small companies, they're just crushing it under the radar. You have no idea they even exist. So what was their target influencer platform? Ding, 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 Instagram. Only Instagram. The strategy was to build relationships with influencers who are enthusiastic about your brand, right? They got interns to make spreadsheets of potential influencers. Well, didn't I just show you how to do that over the past hour? I don't know if you have a team of interns. Probably not. That's why the software makes more sense. But they had their interns make these spreadsheets, and they restricted contact to influencers who were relevant. Either they were aligned with the lifestyle Chase wanted to convey, or they had something that would give a halo effect to the brand. Once again, you're finding people who already have an audience who would be ideal prospects, for your sunglasses. Maybe they love beaches. They're, on vacation. They're in the sun. They're playing tennis. They want to be protected from the elements. You can brainstorm all day long and find people who already have an audience that would be perfect candidates for your eyeglasses or sunglasses in this case, right? And then they begin contact with a genuine compliment and then offer to send them sunglasses. So once again, folks, not paying for ads, right? They did not pay for ads. They said, hey, you know what? Love what you're doing. Can we send you a few samples of our sunglasses and check them out? And if you like them, hey, if you can talk about it, that'd be great. That's exactly what Shreds did, right? That $5 million company I told you. Send out a bunch of your yoga pants or your athletic wear, or send a bunch of sunglasses, or send a digital download of your ebook, whatever it is. Give them free samples, and many of these influencers will put together a promotion for you because they just like talking about what's cool, what's new, and what's exciting, right? That's exactly what Blenders Eyewear did. They're now a 7-figure e-commerce store, right? So again, folks, here's what you get. If you need a recap of everything, once again, we're kind of shaving the pencil down to the ratio, like I said, $297. And just so you know, there's no upsells, no downsells. There's no yearly fees. There's no charge for software upgrade. This is it. I mean, you get in at $297 and locked and loaded. Any updates I have, software or course-wise, you get for free later on, right? So a couple of quick questions before we dive into Q&A here. Is this a fad or short-term trend? I don't know. I mean, I look at what's happening with Facebook and Twitter user growth. Can you see this graph here? It's like, wah, wah, wah. It's just going down, 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 down. I know plenty of friends who've shut down their Facebook accounts, not even because of the privacy issues. It's just because they're tired of the noise. They're tired of just how many of Aunt Becky's pumpkin pie recipes can you take in a week? I don't know. It's just, I can't take it. It's too much. It's too much garbage out there, right? Instagram is very, very different. And again, user growth is going down. Compared to Instagram, it's the exact opposite, right? I mean, the trajectory is going up, up, up like a hockey stick. And once again, folks, I skate to where the puck is going to be or where it's going, not where it has been. Clearly, Facebook and Twitter, the puck has already left the ice. It's gone, right? And if you're not sure if this will work for my niche, again, folks, 1.1 billion people use Instagram. How many thousands will be prospects for you? I mean, a few thousand, 10,000, I don't know. I mean, if you're in a very obscure niche, it might be 100, but 1.1 billion people, they're into all sorts of different things, right? Just like you are. And if you need to see your competitors crushing it on Instagram influencers before you dive in, you're already too late. I'm sorry to say that. If you already see, oh, look, our top 3 competitors are already doing deals with influencers, that's it. The train's left the station. The puck is already down the ice. You are too late. You don't want to be on that end of the growth curve. Wouldn't you agree? That's why it's exciting that Instagram is just starting to really get traction. And a quote here I got, which is really great, which really summarizes this. It says, Instagram is something only kids use. That's not our target. And I'm sure many of you have that same belief. The fastest growing demographic is in the 30 to 49 demographic. It's the same trend that Facebook followed early on. It was adopted by college-age kids who became adults, and eventually the older generation came over. That's the transition happening right now on Instagram. And my question is, do you want to be waiting 2-3 years when it finally blows up and really becomes the next Facebook? Or do you want to get in now and be one of the dominant players in your niche to really get the lion's share of that traffic, right? What other options are available online? I mentioned Grin at $600 a month. I mentioned Shout at $97 a month. You can mess around with quote unquote free tools. I talked about them earlier. Most of them are 14-day trials. Nothing's free, folks. You already know this. It's not your first rodeo. A lot of them are 14-day trials to get you hooked to pay the $97 a month or whatever. And you can do things manually. If you have loads of time, you have lots of time in your hands, obviously, the manual method works great. Many companies have done it. It works. No qualms about it. If you want to save time and really just get things rocking sooner rather than later, that's where I welcome you to join Influencer Spy. And if you go and, you're the kind of person that wants to Google stuff all day long and find alternatives, I encourage you to go and try and Google some cheap $47 influencer finder software. It does not exist. I was in the same position as you last December and January of this year, looking for tools to help me put things together. They do not exist. It's either you pay for the services, $97 a month, you use the free software, the tools, which is a trial, or you do things manually. That's it. Or you hire a team of interns. And that's it, folks. I mean, there are no alternatives available except the Influencer Spy software. And that's why I released it, quite honestly. So, folks, the time is now. I mean, hopefully you're excited about this stuff. I'm excited to dive more into Instagram and influencers. I encourage you to join me as part of this pilot program. My loss is your gain. Save a ton of money as part of this pilot program right now. And the only way to get that is through yesispy.com/go. $297, like I said, no surprises, no upsell hell, none of that stuff. That's not how I play. That's not how I roll. Use that coupon code SAVE300. I'm going to take a sip of water here. And then if you have a question, now's the time to get in there and to drop it into the chat box here. And I will spend as much time as I have to make sure I'm answering your questions. And that's why the benefit of being here on the live webinar is that if you have any questions about either the software or the program, the training, or anything I've mentioned here during the past hour or so, now's the time to ask that. And I will try to get through as many of these as possible, okay? Let me start to go back. I'll answer a few questions here that came in earlier. And then, folks, if you have questions, put them in now. Victoria P is asking, how often do you update the software? Software is brand new. The last update, the software, I shouldn't say brand new. I've been testing this thing and using this thing since early early April, rather, a couple months ago. We have released since then around 6 updates. I've been just constantly tweaking this thing. It is not betaware. It is fully functional, 100% working software. I can tell you that, 100% certainty. Okay, I've been using it for the past 2 months. There will be updates, obviously, and by all means, part of the pilot program is if you find something, you go, Jason, if only you added this, it would just be amazing. Or, if only you just tweaked this or changed this column, it would just be even that much better. I'm looking for you to give me that feedback. That's part of the deal with the pilot program is I need you to give me some feedback. I need you to send me some emails and say, hey, this is awesome. Or, hey, you know what? Maybe you should tweak things here, which will really help me a lot more. I need that feedback. And that's why I'm kind of willing to cut a deal for you guys so that you're willing to give me that feedback. But yeah, software is done. But it's not done because obviously it's going to evolve as we find new ways to use it and to get us better results. All right. So hope that answers your question, Victoria. Let me see here. Yeah, James is saying he wants to get this product to sell his Amazon stagnant inventory. Absolutely, absolutely, James. And of course, you're dealing with physical products. I'm assuming you're not selling Kindle books. Well, even if you're selling books, you can still find people who have an active audience who are interested in the topic of the book, if it's whatever it is, if it appeals to women or appeals to sports people, if it appeals to mystery fans. But obviously, if you have physical products on Amazon, you already have the data. You've been on Amazon. You have an idea if it's women who buy your stuff, if it's men who buy your stuff. And what is the nature or the promise of your product? If you're selling some kind of, let's say, maybe it's organic, I don't know, BPA-free suntan, a sun blocker, then you already know that, my target market is moms who are concerned about putting chemicals on their kids' skin. I'm just thinking out loud here, right? I don't know. But you already know who your audience is. It's easier for you now to hit the pavement running and just, like I showed you before, find out other companies in your niche, even competitors in your niche, and find out the influencers who are promoting those products or services, reverse engineer them, as I showed you with the reverse spy hack, and then approach them. Obviously, much easier using the Influencer Spy software, which I recommend. However, as I said, you can do it yourself or have some interns or temps to put the spreadsheets together for you. And very easy to do that. And the fact that you've already got a business gives you an advantage actually over some people here. So I see lots of great comments from Jeremy, brilliant. I see Terry says, awesome. Brent says it worked. Awesome. Appreciate the feedback, everybody. Mike is already in. I see that Maura just bought. I see Gregory says just signed up. Really excited about this. Awesome, Gregory. I'm excited for you too. That's awesome. What do we have here? Okay, once I've got questions coming in here. Robert's asking if this is lifetime access. Yes, Robert, just to reemphasize, this is lifetime access. I'm using Kartra now for my membership. So the good news is, if I forget to pay my hosting bill or whatever for some reason, or my credit card expires, it's not going to shut down the membership. Kartra, great platform, very easy to use. All the content is in Kartra, and I'm assuming Kartra will be around for 50 more years, if not more. So as long as Kartra's around, the content will be available for you. Lifetime access. It's not going to expire in a year or 5 months. Go at it at your own pace. All the content is there. It's all available today. You don't have to wait for it to be dripped out. And again, with the software updates, lifetime access, lifetime free updates. Again, there's nothing else to buy. I mean, bottom line, there's nothing else to buy. And my marketing friends are probably wanting to smack me on the head now and say, dude, where's the upsells? That's where all the money is. Well, no, I get that. But the objective here is to really get people using this thing. And I need to have some real people who are digging in, diving in, and kind of biting this both teeth and utilizing the software. I know the software works. I know the training works. I just need to have people outside of my direct sphere of influence who are utilizing the stuff and getting results with it. And the bottom line is, folks, is that it's not like I'm talking about something that no one's ever done before. There are people, as you know, who are being very successful with influencer marketing. The only thing is a lot of them are doing things at a very, very high level, spending big money, like hundreds of dollars to get influencers with 200 or 500 or 1 million followers in a niche market. Not Selena Gomez, right? I'm talking about smaller influencers. And we're doing things very differently. We're going kind of like, it's almost like the iceberg, right? The iceberg is the top where you see the Selenas and the Kylies and the Kim Kardashians, but below the water level is the bulk of the iceberg, where we have, literally tens of thousands of these influencers, hundreds of thousands of influencers who have 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. And that's the sweet spot you're going to focus on. That's what I'm focusing on. And that's what Influencer Spy is all about. Right? It's not about just cutting a check for $400 and thinking, oh, I hope this works. No, we're bootstrapping things. We're not paying for ads. Or like I said, we're spending 10, 15, $20. I mean, you really can't get any cheaper traffic from that, especially when you see how highly engaged the audience is, right? I already showed you how, you're getting crazy engagement with these followers because the influencers do a good job for the most part. They're providing value, good posts, good content. They're likable, and people are drawn into that, and they pay attention whenever they promote whatever it is you want them to promote as well, right? That's the magic, as opposed to spending a year trying to create an Instagram page, posting every second day. It's a lot of work. I know it's a lot. My daughter has an Instagram account for our dog, and she's posting pics every day, and it's growing slowly, like 2 people every second day, slowly. But 2 years from now, she may have 3,000 followers, but do you have 2 years of your life to invest in Instagram? I don't. I want to get something done immediately, and I'm willing to pay $10 to have someone post an ad or send them some a free sample of my product to get them to post a review, a video, or a piece of content. Does that make sense? It's just about shortcutting the process. It's not building it. It's actually piggybacking up with somebody who has spent a year building a great Instagram presence and a loyal and active following. Right? That's what you're getting as part of the package there. So. Awesome. Mike says, just started looking at the fast track guide. Wow, Mike. Geez, you're still in the webinar and you're already in the members area. Hats off to you. That's awesome. Ian says when he clicks the link to get started, nothing happens. That's weird. If there's a problem with the link, Ian, just do it the old school way. Just open up a new browser and just type in yesispy.com/go. And use that coupon code SAVE300, okay? And that should get you good to go. I'm going to type in my email in case you have any weird issues like Ian is experiencing. By all means, let me know, and we will take care of you and get you up and running. So I'm putting that in the chat now. Support@joltsupport.com is the place to go. And actually, let me put in the actual link here as well in case there's some weirdness happening with the link in Webinar Jam. Make sure it's a typo here. yesispy.com/go. I think that's right. So in the chat box there, I have the email if you have support of any kind, and also I have the actual link that hopefully should help you to get going here. So Mike says many thanks. He's hoping that he can get learning with the program. That's awesome. Let me see. Tom says, how is this proven to work selling physical products on Amazon? Tom, listen, I mean, I went through this earlier. I know that many people are like, oh, will this work in my niche? Are there other people who are selling dog bowls on Instagram? The bottom line is that people are selling everything on Instagram. I mean, if you're dealing with a product that's mass market, like yoga pants or dog bowls or dog treats or barbecue brushes or silicone cutting mats or organic skincare or I don't care, vitamins. I could go on and on for the next half an hour. If you're selling mass market stuff, again, 1.1 billion people. If it can be found on Amazon, there's going to be an audience on Instagram for that. Again, 1.1 billion people. So the fact that you have products and the fact that there are a lot of physical products being sold on Instagram right now. And what I do, because I'm obviously a student of this stuff as well, and obviously I'm as the educator, I want to make sure I'm on top of all the latest trends. I mean, I have a lot of Instagram pages I'm following, and I see a lot of advertisements every day. I'm not saying you do the same thing, but that's part of what I offer as well, is I'm following and tracking a lot of influencers and seeing what ads they're posting. And they're always promoting physical products. There's always, I mean, there's a lot of physical products being promoted. There's a lot of digital products being promoted. And again, there's some niches I'm not even a part of where they're constantly promoting products. So if you need reassurances to say, oh yes, there's actually somebody selling the exact same barbecue brushes as you on Instagram, and they're actually making $50,000 a year, I mean, you're too late. I mean, honestly, that's the straight answer I can give you. I mean, 1.1 billion people. If they're buying it on Amazon, if there's an audience on Amazon, with those numbers of 1.1 billion monthly active users, there's got to be the same people who are on Instagram. Think about it this way, right? I mean, out of the customers you've sold already, do you think a lot of those folks are on Instagram? Sure they are. I mean, everybody I know is on Instagram, except maybe my grandparents, but my wife, all their friends, all my buddies are Instagram. They're posting pics of everything on Instagram, even more so now than Facebook, because it's not like this fire hose of just random, 10 facts about the earth you didn't know type posts. Instagram is pretty clean, right? You don't have all that cluttered stuff on there. It's very much a picture, the caption, and that's it. It's not like, 10 signs you're having a heart attack. I mean, I'm not discounting the information on Facebook, but it's getting a little out of hand. Wouldn't you agree? There's just so much garbage being thrown at you, including Aunt Becky's pumpkin pie recipes, which we love Aunt Becky, but I don't need to see every pumpkin pie recipe she comes out with. I mean, it's just too much. Instagram is very, very, very clean, right? So yes, there is an audience on Instagram. And as I said, this is kind of like a baby Facebook right now, folks. Instagram is just getting started. And I suspect that the scales will tip very soon where you'll say, holy smokes, now Instagram is just even bigger than Facebook. It's coming. With the growth of Instagram and the pace it's at, it will overtake Facebook at some point in time, especially the fact that, as you already know, with all the privacy issues and the data breach issues that Facebook is dealing with, a lot of people are just tired of the nonsense. Well, you know what? I'm out. That's it. Shutting the account down. I don't want to have my privacy violated. Also, I don't want to have Facebook knowing everything about me, my age, where I work, if I'm married, what I enjoy doing. People are just tired of the privacy issues, and a lot of them are moving towards Instagram. So will the same thing happen on Instagram? I don't know. What I'm saying, though, is that why wait and find out? I mean, why wait 2 years and go, oh, man, this is Facebook 2.0. I wish I would have got Instagram 2 years ago when Jason Potash was talking about it 2 years ago. Again, the time is now, folks. I don't want to have to talk about this more than I already have. Either you see it and you get it. You're like, yeah, man, I see where things are going. I see that there's an opportunity here. I want to be ahead of the curve. Or you're like, you know what? I'm going to be a skeptical Sally and just sit back and wait for 2 years. And then at that point, I'm guaranteeing it's going to be too late. It's already mainstream, and all your competitors are getting the easy wins on Instagram. And that's what happens everywhere. I mean, not to sidebar, but I got back on Google AdWords with a scrapbooking product. I don't scrapbook. My wife does, but I released a scrapbooking product in 2002 on Google AdWords, and I crushed it. I mean, I was killing it. I think I was making... I think back then it was about $7,000 a month profit on average in my back. And that was a side hustle. It wasn't my main business, side hustle. I did that for 2 years. And what happened? Competitors started creeping in. What happened? The cost of my clicks went up, 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 up. You can guess what happened at the end of the story. I shut the product down. I said, you know what? I'm basically making now $100 a month. It's not worth my time to monitor this. I had a good run for 2 years, but obviously AdWords became more mainstream. Obviously, advertisers came in, saturated it. There was less ad inventory, way, way more advertisers, and they killed the golden goose. And I'm saying to you, the same thing's happening on Facebook. The same thing will happen on Instagram. And that's why, as I said before, timing is a factor. Do you want to be ahead of this and kind of get in and really get in while they eat, where it's easy pickings? Or in 2 years, be saying like, oh my gosh, man, every influencer I contact, they're already locked in for the next 9 months. I can't even get a break here. That's what's happening over the next 2 years, right? So again, it's everything is cyclical. It's all timing. Internet marketing is all about timing. It's getting into the niche that isn't saturated, finding ways to drive traffic that's not saturated, finding ways to reach an audience inexpensively and easily. These are the keys. And if you can kind of lock those in, I mean, the world is yours, as opposed to trying to compete with yoga mats on Amazon or selling yoga mats on Facebook. Forget about it. I mean, it's been done 1,000 times already, and you're dead in the water before you even start because there's too much competition, right? Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now, but honestly, it's all comes down to timing. That's the big point here. Dan was asking me, how long will I keep this discount up for? I think the timer I have on the order page is Sunday at midnight, and honestly, I'm launching this as a pilot program. I have no plans, zero plans to continue this pricing after Sunday at midnight. You can call my bluff. If you see an email from me in like a week saying, hey, we're reopening it again. Well, obviously, you know, I haven't been a man of my word, but we're shutting it down. Like the $297 is gone. After midnight on Sunday, the price goes up. So, you know, if you want to hem and haw and think about it, that's fine. But after Sunday, like I said, you will be paying more. And also, I mean, the negative part is obviously in 6 months from now, I'll have a lot more people in Influencer Spy, and that's just more people who get it, who are using the system, who are contacting influencers, and hopefully they're not in your niche because they're going to be already miles ahead of you. I mean, my goal is to really get people from here to being successful on Instagram with influencers as quickly as possible. And if you're in my camp, I will do whatever I can to get you there as quickly as possible. If you're outside of my camp, well, obviously I can't help everybody, but that's why I'm hoping you become part of the pilot program so we can kind of really hit the pavement running and be early adopters of tapping into micro niche influencers who have, you know, high degrees of engagement. Most folks are not, they're not skimming that sector of Instagram. They're going big picture, wide and deep, focusing on influencers with, you know, 500,000 followers. That's great. They can do that all day long. I would rather focus more on, you know, again, below the iceberg with influencers with 10,000, 30,000, 50,000 followers. That's where you really get the big wins because the engagement rate they have is just, it's through the roof, right? So let me see here. Questions here. Oh, Brent, sorry, buddy, man. Where's the spreadsheet link? I apologize, folks. We got talking to tangents here. If you go to the same order link, yesispy.com/go. Of course, if you sign up, that's great. Awesome. I appreciate that. We'll do some cool things. If you go to the bottom of that page, like scroll like way down to the bottom, like right to the bottom where the footer is, you'll see a link there, a blue link for the spreadsheet. And you click on that, follow the instructions, and you can get that same spreadsheet I showed you here earlier in the web class. So again, go to yesispy.com/go, go way down, and you'll see that spreadsheet link way at the bottom of that page there. So hopefully that kind of points you in the right direction. Victoria P asks, can you build a list with this? Yes, you can. I mean, I should have gone through more detail about different ways to utilize Instagram. But here's the thing, is it really depends on your goals. Right? I talk about this actually in the course, but not during this web class. It's really depends on your goal. So I've seen people on Instagram use influencers to promote like, you know, like fitness classes, like in your city, like, you know, hey, whatever, it could be Albany, New York, fitness classes, first class is free. I mean, so obviously classes, which is a bit of a weird angle. I've seen people promote a free download, you know, hey, get 5 ways to triple your consulting business in the next 30 days or less. Yours free. Click here now. And you go there, it's a typical landing page saying, hey, yes, give me the ebook that shows me the secrets, how to, blah, blah, blah. And you put in your name, email, and away you go. So that's more of a lead gen. Like you're talking about, Victoria, is how to build a list through some kind of a widget, some kind of a download or PDF, right? Well, that can be done as well. I've seen people as well who are kind of coaches or consultants who basically are using Instagram and influencers to drive people to signing up for a free 30-minute strategy call. So if you're looking at ways, maybe it's how to slash your business taxes by 15% in the next year. They're willing to give you a free half-hour strategy call on how to do that. Of course, part of that is that they're going to try to get you to sign up as a monthly client or to buy some kind of a consulting package or coaching package, that kind of thing, right? I've also seen people promote books, like actual electronic books, which could be on various how-to topics, how to save, how to save your marriage, or maybe it's how to use the low-carb, high-fat diet to lose 10 pounds in 2 weeks without, jeopardizing your health. These kind of things. There's all different types of examples. The bottom line is, again, I keep saying this, is people are people, right? People on Facebook right now are looking for ways to lose weight. They're also on Instagram. They're also on YouTube. They're also on Google. They also have a job. They also have a car. They also buy shoes. They also eat food. They also go to Walmart. People are people. And there's a lot of common ground between people. Don't think that your prospects are so unique that they don't go on Instagram. They don't shop at Walmart. They don't wear shoes. They don't eat, breakfast or dinner. People are people, right? And a certain percentage of that demographic on Instagram is interested in whatever it is you're promoting. If it's your download, if it's some kind of a secret you figured out, if it's a how-to course, or maybe it's just a strategy call, learning ways to save taxes on their business. Whatever it is, again, you have to kind of reverse engineer where those prospects are. And you're going to find influencers who already have followers who are for the most part, perfect targets and perfect prospects for your particular business. Like I talked about earlier, I showed you how we looked at that. It's a horrible name, that Activo or Activo Wear, whatever the yoga pant company was, the activewear company was. And they're already showing you that we reverse engineered and found influencers who are into wellness and yoga and namaste and eating well and obviously drinking the green smoothies. And I'm not saying that to mock them, because I drink green smoothies too. So I'm kind of preaching to the choir here. It's healthy lifestyle is basically taking care of the body from the inside and out. And if your product has anything to do with people who are probably into yoga, or at least into wellness in some way, shape, or form, well, that influencer's already got followers who are ideal prospects for your business. On the flip side is, if you have some kind of a new skincare line, you sure as heck don't want to go to an Instagram influencer who's into NASCAR, who's into guns, who's into prepping for the end of the world. You know what I mean, right? It's very, very different demographic. You've got predominantly women or people who are very much into health and wellness and fitness. Would they want your skincare products? Perhaps. Versus dudes into NASCAR, drinking beer and guns, probably not into yoga, probably not into skincare, probably not into wellness or into spirituality. You know what I mean? It's kind of an obvious example here, but that's how you have to think with how you research Instagram influencers on Instagram, and also how to find those audiences, is really just thinking, where are these people hiding? What kind of hashtags are they using? What kind of things are they into? And it becomes really easy to put a bit of a mind map together on brainstorming some of those hashtag ideas and finding those influencers who have that audience. So hopefully that kind of makes sense and gives you some things to think about here. So Vassie's asking me if there'll be a support group for this. I'm not sure yet. It all depends on you guys and girls, quite honestly, because if I've done this in the past before, where everyone's all gung-ho to get a support group, and then 2 years later, no one's posting. So I want to make sure that you're committed, and if the tribe has spoken and says yes, we'd love to do a support group, then I'm more than willing to do it. I just want to make sure that I'm not the one doing all the work, because you know what I mean. I'm here to support and help you, but if it's a one-way conversation, then that's really not the way to help everyone. If I'm posting and nobody else is reciprocating or posting, does that make sense? So yeah, it's possible. We'll kind of see what happens here. So. Jay is saying the font on the page is really tiny. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what I don't know what's going on there. I apologize for that. I checked it on a couple of devices, mobile, and it seemed like it was okay. So I'll look at that. Lloyd is asking. He said he tried to order and it's not putting in the save 300 code's not working. Lloyd, try a different web browser. Like if you're using Firefox, use Chrome or vice versa. That might do the trick. If it doesn't, then please, after this call or even during the call, email me support@JoltSupport. I put the link in the chat window there, so just definitely email me and let me know what's going on there, and I'll get you on board there. Okay, so folks, any last minute questions here? We've kind of gone through a lot of this here. Tom's asking, does your course include how to integrate with my autoresponder? It's not really an email marketing course. I mean, my job is to basically get you to structure a deal with influencers and get them get those visitors onto whatever it is, your page, your offer page, your Amazon store page, your download page, your sales page. And once that's done, my job is done. I mean, then it's all about autoresponder courses, email marketing courses. It's about courses on how to turn a customer into a lifelong customer. I don't really get into that. And if I did, obviously it would increase the price of the product. And there's lots of courses out there anyway that deal with that. I didn't want to create an email marketing course. It's really just about, again, getting someone to find you and click on a link and visit your webpage, store, whatever it is. That's really the goal of the course. What happens after that in terms of follow-up email autoresponders, that's really up to you to kind of put those pieces together. So I hope that makes sense. Let me just another question is, do you have to have Kartra to use the software? No, absolutely not. The software has no requirements other than you having a Mac computer or a PC computer. Those are the only two requirements. We are not Linux compatible and won't be probably ever. You need to have a computer to use the software, but no other requirements though at all. So Mar or Marie is asking if you need an active Instagram account in the niche you're marketing to. You don't need an Instagram account. It's optional. It definitely wouldn't hurt, but you don't have to have a thriving Instagram account to use these tactics. That's not required. As I mentioned before, we're doing the opposite. We're not building a massive follower base of 20,000 followers and taking 2 years to then start, reaping the rewards of our work. We're shortcutting that and saying, well, who's built the list? Who's built the Instagram followers of 20,000, 40,000? How can I piggyback off of them versus you doing the work and spending 2 years to get there, right? So we're kind of shortcutting the process here. So that's kind of it. I think we're kind of let's. I've missed something here. It seems like we've gone through most of them here. Oh, last minute one came in here. Is Eric is saying, is it always possible to contact the influencer you've identified? Now, Eric, email is the number one I recommend you use, and the software helps you find influencers and sort of influencers who have an email address that we can pull from the bio. Close second is direct message. You can direct message any influencer. The question is, will they pay attention to your communication? There's a few kind of techniques you can use to kind of cut through the clutter, and sometimes it requires a second follow-up. I mean, everyone's busy. You miss emails. I miss emails. Sometimes you get text message and forget about it. So sometimes persistence is required. But, and again, it's a numbers game, right? I mean, that's why the software is actually really helpful, because the software, you can, for example, find, let's say 20 email addresses of influencers. You may have had to actually search through 1,000 to find 20 emails. And then you can use the software to help get those emails out very, very easily versus you having to comb through and manually find those 20 email addresses. And also there's, I give you a free piece of software in the course as well that allows you to send direct messages using a template system, like cut and paste templates. Again, you can, it literally takes you all of like 5 seconds to send a direct message versus going into your cell phone, typing in a message, spell checking, hitting send. I mean, I'm all about automation, but keeping it cool, keeping it clean. And I'm all about saving you time using software. And that's exactly what the course is about as well. Okay. Vai Kali, I hope I'm not pronouncing your name incorrectly. Vai, just bought. He says, where's the link to the members area? Those links will come via email. It may take you 10 minutes, but you'll get the link via email. You also will get the software product key to unlock the software. And please check your spam folder, because obviously we don't know sometimes who's filtering these emails, but check your spam folder. And again, if you don't see the emails in like half an hour, just support@joltsupport.com and get in touch with me that way. More questions coming in. Last minute questions here. Jay says, "Can I use this to promote my online summit?" Well, Jay, again, you have to figure out what's your summit about? Who is your ideal prospect or ideal target? What are they interested in? Are they male, female? Do they have a business? Are they into yoga? Are they into maybe it's a certain type of lifestyle? I don't know what it's about. And then start doing some searching on Instagram. Of course, my software makes it easier, but you can obviously do it manually, and start finding, what type of influencers already have an audience that would be, most of those followers would be a good fit, or percentage of them would be a good fit for my summit. Maybe it's a summit on, how to boost your social media presence, for argument's sake. And there's lots of people who talk about building your social media presence. They talk about how to grow your business on social media. So people who are following those influencers already are interested in the same topic as your summit. Does that make sense? And that's kind of how you start to reverse and engineer those hashtags and find those influencers. But yeah, without knowing the topic of your summit, unless it's some really, really obscure summit, like how to grow organic mushrooms in containers, which is very specialized, obviously. Otherwise, again, it's just, there's so many large numbers of people on Instagram. You can find influencers to promote your summit. I'm very confident you can. Eric's asking, will it work in other countries and other languages? Yes, it will. The software is dependent upon, it uses, it does searches on using your local country as well. So you'll get search results based upon if you're in Russia, or based upon if you're doing Instagram in French or in Italian. It'll use those results as well based upon when it's searching. So yes, that will work as well. Victoria P is saying, what if you don't have a product? Victoria, you can use affiliate products. You can obviously promote products as an affiliate, get a 50% commission. The only thing I would caution you is to just not make it obvious you're promoting an affiliate product. Not to say that they'll get you into trouble, but the influencer might think, well, why would I give you an ad, or why would I promote your stuff when they could promote it and make a 50% commission, right? So I would just kind of hide it. Use, you can either hide the domain name, or hide the affiliate link, or use a redirect. There's all kinds of ways to redirect that link so they can't see that it's this ugly long affiliate link. You know what I mean? Just shorten that link somehow, and then most influencers will have no idea what you're even doing. So not a problem. Jay says, I tried to make a post on Instagram last week, gave up, want to do it via my PC, not my laptop. Yeah, the cool thing about this, what I teach to in the course, Jay, is that everything that I show you, we use the desktop or laptop, whatever. I know you don't use laptop, but we use the desktop, because I find that using Instagram on a cell phone is very clunky. It's not clunky if you're browsing pictures. It's clunky if you're a marketer doing research and gathering data and kind of tracking information, because you can't exactly have a spreadsheet open on your cell phone and have Instagram open on your cell phone and be cutting and pasting data. It's a real pain in the butt. So everything we do in the course, and of course the software, it's all based on using the desktop, using PCs, or using a Mac OS X computers, and using spreadsheets as well. So it's all very much, very easy to navigate without using a cell phone. And a lot of courses I've seen on influencer marketing, they show you using a cell phone. I'm like, it's painful trying to, record influencers, account names, or record the number of followers into a spreadsheet and do that on a cell phone. It's a very, very convoluted way to gather data. And that's why I definitely recommend you use Instagram on your computer when doing this kind of stuff. That's exactly what we talk about in the course as well. So, well, we're kind of wrapping up here. I see some of the same questions coming in here, folks. If you have questions, by all means, shoot them to me at support@joltsupport.com. The link is in the the chat window there if you have questions about anything I've talked about here during the web class, or you have questions about the actual software or the Influencer Spy training. I recommend you do that. As I said, we are shutting this down on Sunday at midnight. That's a hard deadline. It's not like some fake scarcity BS you've seen before. And once the pilot program shuts down at midnight, I mean, that's it. The price is going up. And that's why it's called the pilot program. It's not, you know, a 2-year pilot program. It's like a 1-week pilot program. And then we're going to get to work. We're going to get busy. We're going to get some results on Instagram, and we're going to start improving the system. And as I said, there's a lot more cool stuff to come with the unannounced bonuses and webinars. So I hope you're pumped about this stuff. The fact that you're still here after 2 hours tells me that you're probably on the fence saying, oh man, this sounds good. Well, you know what? Take advantage of that price discount. That's really nothing more I can give you to kind of, you know, push you over the fence to want to jump on board with this. Is just that massive $300 discount that I'm giving you as part of the pilot program. So $297 one time, no surprises, no shenanigans, no upsell hell, none of that nonsense. I assure you, it gets you in the door, and that's all you need to invest in this program ever. And that's it. There's no coaching, upsell, nothing. $297. The only way to get this deal today is yesispy.com/go. Use that coupon code SAVE300. I already had one person say to me, hey, why was I charged $597? Please use that coupon code. And if you don't see the immediate discount, you need to get in touch with me so we can sort that out for you. Okay. Again, support@joltsupport.com. So this is Jason Potash. I hope I've given you some cool things to think about. I hope you're excited about this and want to join me on this journey as part of the Influencer Spy pilot program. I wish I could send you a black cape and a spy mask and a black fedora. Maybe I'll do that as part of the official launch. Sounds like a cool idea, but we're going to do some cool things. Spying on influencers, utilizing some techniques to really find where the action is, find where the audience is, and then use the software and the tactics will teach you to start getting great results, piggybacking off influencers of tens of thousands of followers in your niche or in the market you're trying to attract. So with that being said, I'm running out of gas. My voice is starting to go on me here. It's a bit dry. We'll talk to you again real soon. Thanks for hanging out. And hopefully we'll get together sometime in the future and talk about some more stuff related to influencer marketing. Thanks, everybody. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll touch base real soon.